Okay, guys, let me know if you can hear me again. If not, we're going to have to wait until tomorrow. Let me know. Hello again, everyone. I don't know what the heck is going on. I do see ones in the chat, but I do not see, I see myself moving slightly. All right, so what I'm going to do real quickly, and thank you guys for coming back. I am going to say some quick hellos just in case the sound go out. Now, I got 2-3 mics over here, but I put on some headphones and it's different. It's different. But okay, sounds good. All right, and I'm going to do one last check on my end. Let's see. Let me turn my volume up over here. I'm going to do one last check. Let's see. Okay. All right. So it sounds good on my phone. We're going to get going. I apologize. OMG, it's been 30 minutes. That's horrible. So we're going to get on into the discussion. I'm curious to hear from you guys with everything that's been going on. If you have not checked out my videos that I released this week, I went into detail about Petty Betty, and it is what it is, as well as unclaimed baggage. Unclaimed baggage. The babysitter with benefits. So if you have not seen those videos, make sure to check them out. But thank you guys for joining me. I'm not going to waste too much time on hellos, but if you can hit the like button on your way in, I would appreciate it. For some reason, I think it's my internet. I'm good. If you guys say I'm good, sis, please call me or text me and let me know if anything happens. But thank you guys again for joining me. Real quickly, I see the cutie crew representing. Hey, Peaceful Journey. Peaceful Journey, you were the first on the other video. Hello, Pink Rose, Sherry McLean, Gwendolyn Love, Scorpion Princess, Scorpio. Sorry, Ladon. Hey, Ladon. Hey, Heloise. Hey, Sherry. Ethia, Gloria, my sis Pink Diva, my little sis Trending, Juan Davis, and all of you. So since I wasted so much time, I'm going to go ahead and get started. But as I mentioned, please hit the like button. And we're going to go ahead and get into this live recap of season 6, part 2, Love and Marriage Huntsville's reunion. Let me bring up an overlay. It was a pretty good episode to me. I'll ask you guys once you come up how you felt about it. It was a whole lot going on. That's what I will say. Whole lot going on. Okay. Now I'm bringing up my chat on this phone just so I can see you guys. And I'll turn the volume down. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. The reunion continued with the showdown between Kiki, hey Aunt Debbie, Kiki and Tisha. Kiki did admit that there has been some cheating during the entire span of her and Amin's marriage. So Tisha did bust Kiki out with that, but Kiki said, and your point is, so she didn't care, period. She also clarified that before they got married, she had given him, some money. And then later on that same day, she busted him in a relationship with a woman. And I kind of like this part between Mel and Martel. Look, I know they are divorced, but sometimes when you were married, you'll say the same things at the same time. And they both did that because they was like, oh, I thought you meant that it was arranged, which we all did, the way Tisha said it. But Tisha then pulled out the paperwork. So you guys remember the phone calls and all that stuff, the barber going live and all of that mess. Well, Tisha pulled out paperwork between her and Kiki's call, but she was very aware of everything that went on. She said that from what she heard, the dude from the barbershop wanted to get everyone on the phone, and Kiki never said, okay, let me get my cousin on the phone. And if you guys remember, when I discussed that before, that was something that I felt like Kiki should have did. Number one, I felt like Kiki should have just shut it down. After what I felt like was the guy sort of playing tricks and games on that call. You know, what's in it for me and this and that. Or I really don't know. Oh, yeah, they were in the room. They weren't in the room. At that time, I would have shut it down, period. You know, you weren't getting the information that you were there for. And Tisha was right. It really was not a benefit to her. Tisha did say that she heard both conversations, and she said that Kiki lied. Tisha said that it was at that point that she knew that she was done with Kiki. You know, and I hate to see it. I'll get into a little more about that because they are family. They asked, like, what's the point then? And Tisha said Kiki is trying to use her and Marceau as a storyline. So that's when Carlos asked the group. Oh, no, that's when Carlos asked Mel and Kimmy if they felt like Tisha was in denial. And if you guys didn't see my shorts, I wish I would have had it in this video, but that's when Mel was like, go Kimmy. Kimmy was like, go Mel. Mel's like, go on girl. Hilarious. But when they both gave their honest answer, I really appreciated the both of their perspectives. Kimmy said, look, it's been 5 years. There's been no concrete evidence. So no, I don't think that Tisha's in denial. She just wants proof. Mel basically said the same thing. She said she understands by being married, you know, you sometimes, not sometimes, but majority of the time, if you're going to end your relationship over cheating, then yeah, you must have concrete proof. So I appreciated the way they both answered that. Carlos then asked Kiki why she feels Tisha is so dumb. And Kiki said because Tisha knows she wouldn't make anything up. So she's telling, saying that to Tisha as, if I come to you, you know my track record as your cousin. And, you know, I didn't like all the dumbs that you know, Kiki was saying. And Tisha even said, look, she's throwing jabs and I'm trying to come out here with facts. But then they did the flashback of the drug test with Mel as well as the barbecue. And he asked Kiki about the drink in the face. He first said, and I had to chuckle at this as well, that he understood Mel throwing that glass at Martel. And I understood too. I really, really did. So I'm glad that Carlos said that. Martel was ready to pout, baby, gave Carlos a look like, how dare you? And it is what it is. But I will say this. I absolutely hated the grilling of Kiki that Carlos came. I hated it. Now, I was tweeting yesterday while the live was going on, and I said that as well. Then I said it on a post on Instagram. I didn't like it at all. Tisha and Marceau said, though, that as of last year, Kiki was on drugs. And Kiki denied that. She told Marceau to shut up. But Carlos then asked the group, basically, based off of Kiki throwing that drink, if they thought that she was on drugs still. And Mel said no. Mel said, nope, I don't think that she's on drugs. Maurice said that he thought that she was looking for a moment. While Maurice was saying that, Kiki was, you know, shaking her head up and down like she was. And I'm like, Kiki, girl, what are you doing? But anyway, she was shaking her head like, yeah, I was looking for a moment. But Kimmy pissed me off. Kimmy, Yes, Sonny, what Carlos did was cruel. Hold on. It did sound like that Tennessee girl. He didn't show the same patience, let me put it that way, that he has shown Mr. Martel Holt for years. And I just didn't like it because, you know, the way that he grilled her, damn, what if the girl relapsed? I just didn't like it at all. But you guys let me know how you felt about Kimmy. Kimmy pissed me off. I'm sorry. Because Kimmy is in the healthcare field, and her words about Kiki to me was reckless. Reckless. Okay. You know, she said that when Kiki came up, that she was kind of nervous and jittery, and she was sweating a whole lot. And first of all, you never know why a woman is sweating, especially a woman of a particular age. Women that has gone through menopause may sweat. It was summertime. It was hot as hell. That could have caused her to sweat. And, you know, it was just wrong. It was wrong. Kimmy is disappointing me more and more every week, it seems like. A lot of you guys have been saying that. Thank you, Austin, for saying that, because I was just about to say that. Let me go to my comments. I got 121, but I'm going to go down to the bottom. But Austin Alexander said, methadone makes you sweat. And Austin said, Google it. And you guys know I have a couple cuties that have years and years and years of recovery under their belt. Hey, Terrell. And they said the same thing. So I just felt like, you know, I just didn't understand it. I don't understand Kimmy, period, anymore. And if you guys, whether you're in the medical field or not, know that anything could be causing a person to sweat, that was reckless. That was reckless. What did you say, MC? I work in a DA drug service and it gives some clients dry mouth. Okay. Terrell, let me scroll up. Terrell, Carlos could have educated himself about methadone if Kiki gotta get drug tests. Mark so should too. Yeah, I agree. And thank you for that, Terrell. It was definitely a lack of education all throughout these talks. And I don't want to get too far off track, but all throughout these talks on Love and Marriage Huntsville of if Kiki is on drugs or just the topic of drugs, period, not once have I seen a hotline number for the viewing public to call if needed. They keep throwing up, as of today, no charges have been filed or been against Kiki or whatever, but he definitely should have educated himself more, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it from he or Kimmy. But what was after that? Oh, then he was like, you know, talking about the negative test, how all the drugs came up negative, 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 negative. And he asked Kiki if she used someone else's, I'm going to say urine, he said pee. If she used someone else's urine, that was out of line and disrespectful. Thank you, Thames. Thames said vilifying drug recovery is reckless and arrogant. Yes, totally agree. But yeah, then he took it a step further, a step lower, if you will, and asked that girl if she used someone else's urine. Mel said, look, let me go ahead and step in because, or was it anybody else in the bedroom? That's what they were saying before. But Mel said, let me go ahead and step in because I like to come with facts. I was in the bathroom with her, and Kiki said yes, as well as other producers. Mel said it was a legit test. And I just didn't like that at all. Prosperity said Kiki needs to sue Carlos. I didn't like it at all. It was it was just reckless. That's all I have to say. It was reckless. I didn't like Marceau and his exchange with her. And as I said earlier, they all need to educate themselves on methadone. I had no clue about the effects of methadone, but thanks to two of my cuties, one my cutie auntie, one my cutie sis, they were able to educate all of the cutie crew members when we were in one of our members only. And I think that as the creator and executive producer of this show, Carlos King should have took the time to do the same. Kimmy is just Scotty, okay? Kimmy is a full Scott now, child. And what Kimmy did, this is off script, off my notes. What Kimmy did is let me know that they all had discussed as a family if Kiki was on drugs or not. Because you know she always say, however, and she was like, however, later on, I did think that with the jittery, all of that mess. So Kiki, they not your friends, girl. Hey, Prosperity. They not your friends, and I would get on up out of there if I was you. Thank you, Trending, because that's just what I said, baby. She is Scott team. Big time. And it's sad to see. I saw a comment on Twitter, and anybody in the chat let me know. When I was on Twitter yesterday, while the episode was going on, I did see a comment on Twitter that says that methadone can stay in your system for 2 weeks, and then, you know, I guess it drains a little bit your system where it may not show up in the test. Don't know if that's true. Hopefully, my Cutie Crew sisters and aunt will hit the link later and be able to educate us so we can educate Carlos and Kimmy. Okay. But like I said, we've never seen Carlos grill anybody like that before. And I'm going to say this to Marceau real quick, and I'm going to get back on track. Marceau, you need to stay your ass in your place, because Kiki and Tisha are family. And I do think that if Marceau wasn't all up in the mix, and I said this before, I do think that as family members, maybe Kiki and Tisha can or could have sit down and have a talk. You know, we forgive family for a whole lot of stuff, no matter how hurtful it was. But when you got Marceau chiming in, she's on drugs. I bet you. Kiki said, I'll take a drug test right now. How much you want to bet? I bet you. You know, he just too much in it. And I don't see Tisha stepping over that line when it comes to his family. And that's where Tisha needs to put her husband in place. Even if you got to do it respectfully. Let him know, look, this is my family. We're not going to say anything negative about her. I feel like she may still be using, and if that's the case, that's even more reason why y'all need to go ahead and lay off on her. That's just it, that's all, you know? So anyway, that's that on that. They then went into Kiki still in the lock out of Home Depot. And again, they were out of line. Now, Kiki did not deny that it was her in that video, but she said that she is positive that she will be vindicated. So I wish they would have let that play out on the show. I don't know what's going on with that, because I think that there should be some type of resolution by now. But yeah, that's when Marceau was talking about, I bet you. He even went too much into when she asked, how would I be able to do something with a lock with no receipt? He said, well, you can go back and take it back up there and you can get a gift card, and then you can sell the gift card for money. And I was like, damn, did you do it before, Marceau? Because you sure do know the procedure, sir. Anyway, next up was Tiff, Big Lou, Chris, Neil Fletcher. They came out on the stage. It was funny because Carlos said that Chris Fletcher is a TikTok star. He is, with his dancing. Carlos said that Chris reminds him of George Jefferson. And then they both had a cute little dance off. But they then got into Martel dating as a bachelor. And they spoke on Shereé and what Tiffany had to say to Shereé. You guys remember that? Tiffany said something like, is your pee that good that you think he not going to cheat, or whatever she said. But they then showed the flashback of Martel saying how Mel, then they jumped to Martel in a flashback, and he was saying how Mel told him to pray, how he was still wearing his wedding band. He was telling Nell that he was working on himself, and he was asking Mel what was up. So he, in his mind, was really doing the work to get his wife back, with the Rottweiler or the Chihuahua still at that time yapping and yapping. But do you ever see us getting back together? Why did I write that down? Oh no, that's what he was saying to Nell Fletcher. But anyway, they showed him asking Mel if she would ever forgive him for what he's done, and Mel flat out said no, never. And I don't blame her. Sometimes forgiveness is for us, and she forgives herself for even letting Martel put her through the BS that he did. But as far as her forgiving him, she don't really have to do that. And especially since he's still doing and saying the same things that he was doing and saying when they were married. But let me say this about Martel and Shereé. I told you guys this before. Both of them are slow, in my opinion. And they're slow because they did not seize the opportunity. That is, I'm going to, number one, say bravo, because of the money that they get paid, as well as Love and Marriage Huntsville. They did not seize that opportunity. And even if it was real or fake, guess what? Bravo introduced it like they were in a relationship, and so did Love and Marriage Huntsville. And baby, I would be on a wedding special by now, and we could still be business partners or in a business relationship behind the scenes. How you fumble bags like that? Shereé, Shereé really didn't have a choice, because we know that a Chihuahua, that is also known as coleslaw, when she found out about Martel and Shereé, she was all on social media calling Shereé old and telling Shereé where Mr. Man's tongue was just a couple days before. So Shereé didn't have no choice but to go ahead and let that go on and do the damn thing. But other than that, they could have made money, okay? And yeah, Martel, you slow, because you could probably be up a couple millions thanks to Bravo checks. Because like I said, we would have been on a marriage special, and we would have gathered a node after that check cleared. That's just me. But anyway, they get to Lewis. Lewis was talking and said that he really didn't like how Martel and Marceau confronted Tiffany. We didn't like it either. Two men should never be talking to a man's wife the way that, I'm going to say, Marceau was. Martel was on the tad bit disrespectful, but Martel is the one that called her Karen and all of that. And Marceau said that him calling Tiffany Karen was not meant to be negative. And Marceau, you lying. He said it had nothing to do with race. And, even though, yeah, a Karen could be of any race, but do a quick search, Marceau, with the hashtag Karen and see what race is going to come up. So I think that you were taking a dig at Tiffany, and it wasn't cool then, okay? And I liked how Big Lou checked him back then when that scene aired. And, Big Lou was sitting there on this reunion like he don't play. But what was next? Carlos asked Martel why he and Shereé ended things, and he said he wanted to refocus on himself and his life and his business. And he said that a relationship is not something that he's trying to be in right now. I repeat, a relationship is not something that he is trying to be in right now. Coleslaw, did you hear that, girl? I got a whole video up about that earlier. And I know it's a big debate. You guys, when I drop the link, you guys, we can talk about it. My mama used to say, ain't bit mo. I still don't know what it means till this day. But Martel and Coleslaw ain't bit mo married. Okay, that's just my opinion. Ain't bit mo married. So anybody else that think that they are, hit the link when I drop it. What else? But Marceau finally got it up out of Martel that he and Shereé was actually dating. And this is finally, after Martel said to Carlos that they really weren't, he finally admitted. So it just shows that Martel will still just lie and change the story right in your face. That's a narcissist for you, baby. They think you don't remember something 10 minutes ago. This is not my day. Hold on. Oh, and that's the other dog. Hold on. Come on, Teddy. Get in. Move. Okay, I'm back. But yes, ma'am, them narcissists will sit there and make you think you crazy. So I'm like, now you done went through this whole spiel, Martel, about you and Shereé. Then when you get caught up and Marceau calls it out, you admit, yeah, we were dating. It's like, oh. But anyway, Carlos then asked Martel, was it hard for him to say things because he still has, was it hard for him trying to be in a relationship with Shereé because he still has feelings for his ex-wife? Now, this is where Mr. Man tried it again. Hey, Dr. Minnie. Martel said, who says I still have feelings for her? Carlos was like, the cameras. He ain't never lied. Then Nell Fletcher said, you just told me this recently. Mel says, yeah, that's what he says to me too. And Martel said, oh, okay, cool. It's like, what? Right after saying, who says I still have feelings for her, Martel gonna hold on to a lie until you confront him with the truth. And they confronted him with the truth. And then he said, oh yeah, okay. I just cannot. But Carlos then asked him, was Mel changing her name to Rogers the nail in the coffin for him? And I put this a little bit in my video early. If you guys didn't see it, make sure to go watch it. But dude is still holding on to hope, okay? He's still holding on to hope. And he said, I could see if she gotten remarried. I could understand that. But all she did was go back to her name. Out of the blue, I must say. Out of the blue. She went back to her name before me. So that man is still holding out hope. He still thinks he has a chance as long as Mel does not remarry somebody. It's crazy. Let's see. Where am I? Carlos then asked him if he said his true feelings. Is he scared that Mel would run with it? And he said no. And this is when Marceau said, being sarcastic to me, guys. I'm going to repeat that. This is when Marceau said, or is it because of your wife? Or whatever he said. Now, when, or would you get in trouble with your wife? That was succeeding. Hey, succeeding. That Marceau was being sarcastic. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't believe that they married. He didn't believe it either. Martel didn't believe it either because Martel gave him a look like, what? Then Nell Fletcher said, who is he married to? And then Carlos then asked Martel if he's in a relationship with his child's mother. And he said, no, I'm single. That's out of Martel's mouth. Okay. No, I'm single. And then meddling Marceau then asked Martel, does she think you're in a relationship? So for those that feel like Marceau said they married, Marceau then went on to say, does she think y'all in a relationship? Not does she think y'all married, or man, you married, or your wife. So, I don't believe it. Look, none of us really know, but I don't believe it for 1 second at all. Coleslaw, Mary name came out, girl, back. But she definitely thinks they're in a relationship, unfortunately. And but that's when Mel said he's lying. And Mel said that she thinks they're in a relationship. Carlos asked her, she said yes. She said because when her kids are there, she's there every day. And someone in my comment section cracked me up because they said Mel has claimed coleslaw more than Martel has ever claimed coleslaw. And I cackled. I miss you too, Succeeding. I'm so happy to see you. So happy to see you. But yeah, child, Mel didn't claim coleslaw for Martel, and Martel ain't claimed her not one damn time. That was so funny. But what was next? Carlos asked if Mel is hurt, that she's around her kids. And Mel said, no, I'm not hurt. But that is when she said what I love. She first said, I just go into protective mode. And then she said that she's never, and she didn't emphasize it like me, but I'm going to do it, baby. She says she's never going to trust someone who adored her goddamn family so much, her family setup so much. Look at me trying. Let me read it right. Mel said she was not hurt at all. She just goes into protective mode. And she said that she's never going to trust someone who adored her family setup so much that they worked their ass off to come between it. And look, she ain't lying. That girl been working. You hear me? Put in work, blood, sweat, tears for years. Ooh, where they do that at? But that was the whole word, okay? Never, ever trust her. And Martel shouldn't either with his dumb ass when it comes to those kids. But anyway, when Mel was talking, it pissed me off because Carlos allowed Martel to continue to interrupt Mel. Mel was talking about all the nasty and vile things that girl has said and done. And Mr. Martel jumped right on in. What about the babysitter? You had 11 babysitters. And it went from 20 to 11. It's going to probably get down to 2, which will be Miss Van and Marcus and his husband. That's what it's going to get down to in the end. We keep seeing that number drop. We really, really do. But Carlos, you should have told Martel to be quiet. I don't understand why Carlos always lets Martel go on these senseless rants. Year after year after year, on the show, on the reunion, on the show, on the reunion. When is enough? But when he was throwing a little tantrum, that's when Mel said, you see how he defends her? She said that she came at me for years, torturing me with DMs and everything else. And then she did tell Martel, how dare you? And that how dare you reminded me of that scene when she told him, I ain't never checking for that. I know y'all remember what I'm talking about. That's when they were still married, sitting outside that restaurant. And she said, I ain't never checking for that. So yeah, that how dare you should have made an impact when it comes to Martel. But, with us that follow not only the show and social media, we know that it didn't. But anyway, they were going back and forth. And that's when Mr. Man stormed off that stage, baby. Do I have that little clip? He stormed off that stage. Now, I had no idea, and I don't think that you guys would have known either, that he was storming off that stage to get some paperwork. But let me play this real quick.
The sound on this turn. Liar! Such a liar. No, I'm not. You're such a...
Okay, so I see what the problem is, though. And it's showing on my screen, but not my phone. But there's a delay in the overlay, so I'm just gonna lay off on those. But anyway, Mr. Man stormed off the stage in that tight ass suit to go get that paperwork. Martel's suit was so tight he couldn't even put his arms down. He couldn't even put his arms down. Oh, that was so funny. But my question is this: why is that man traveling from state to state with their custody paperwork? Why? Why? And Mel said when he finally came back out with the paperwork, child, he even tried to get Mel to go to the page, and she's like, hold up. No, sir, you do that. Okay. But she said this is the same paperwork that he's been sending to bloggers. And she said that it disgusts her or it's disgraceful. I got that somewhere in my notes. But he's still on a quest to make Mel look bad. And that's why he's traveling with that paperwork. It is, for a man to act this way, it's not normal to me. But what she said it was a disgrace to her that he sent, because those are the same papers that he sent to the blogger. So that is when she said, and I'm going to try to play this overlay. Let's see if it worked for you guys. But that is when she said, Martel, you are the lowest of the low of the scum of this earth. Let me see.
We're gonna talk about this. Watch this.
Okay, it's crazy, my little overlay, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But that's what she said. He's the lowest of the low and the scum of this earth. Martel was ready to let loose, and this is a message to Carlos. Anytime you gotta stand up, get in front of somebody, tell them that they need to chill, and ask them to please respect you, that person don't need to be on your show. So Martel got everybody trained. They all know what's coming. And Carlos actually got up, stood up in front of him to make sure that he couldn't even go Mel's way. And yeah, that was very telling to me. But after that, he's like, yeah, we done. I'm so glad that you guys have moved on. And Mel said, yes, God. Yes, God. And then she said, see how toxic it was in that house? And Martel said, it wasn't like this. And Mel said, yes, it was. And that's why I beat your ass at times. Chat. Mel said, that's why I beat your arse at times. So, look, maybe I shouldn't say that, child. Maybe I need to say that for another moment. But, sometimes they get you so upset. You're a woman. You probably can't beat them. But sometimes you may just have to knock them upside their damn head, okay? But anyway, and I'm almost done, guys. They got into Tiffany walking away from the show, and it was sad to me. It was sad to me, because postpartum is real. Postpartum is real. And I do think that was the number one reason why Tiffany decided to leave. And I really respect her for choosing herself and her mental health and recognizing that being on the show wasn't really helping her current situation at that time. So I respect Tiffany and Big Lou. Tiffany did say that it is refreshing and that they are enjoying their regular life. Carlos asked, if she saw herself coming back, and she really didn't, give a direct answer. But shout out to Big Lou for supporting his wife in that moment as well. Again, very commendable. Very commendable. And Carlos even said that, a lot of, I don't even want to say it's reality stars, but in this case, Carlos said a lot of reality stars don't walk away when maybe they should. And I think that goes for anybody. Walk away from whatever if it's causing too much or if you're going through something personal. Walk away. Child. Let me go ahead and put this lady up on the screen. Hold on, guys. I'm not going to say too much about her either, because I did discuss her in a video Saturday. If you guys didn't see it, make sure to go back and check it out. But next up is Petty Betty. Petty Betty. And I want to use this picture because to me, this just really shows everything that is inside Petty Betty. She wanted screen time, in my opinion. There was no need for her to be there, in my opinion. Before I get into her a little bit more, as I mentioned, I did do a full video of it, but let me just show you guys this. Shout out to Junior Child. What you say? Prosperity Mill says she want that transcript, not what he had. Facts. Shout out to Junior. Now I must say that I got a chuckle out of Carlos King as well as Dustin Ross saying that Junior looked like Aladdin in that suit. Junior was there. He and Stormy are okay. That's about all I'm gonna say about that. But when it comes to Betty, me personally, find it hard to believe that she would want Mel to come back and clear up anything, because we all know that Betty was out here saying everything before the show even started, when the show started, about Mel. And has she done the same thing that she's asking Mel to do? Because I haven't seen it. And you guys know I be all over it. We all, as content creators, be all over it. Has she apologized to Mel for the things that she said? Did she make another post on Facebook in those groups that she was talking about? Did she make a post in there and say, you know what I said about that young lady was, I shouldn't have said that. She didn't. She did not. So it's BS to me. She could have stayed her butt right at home. Is T-Talk in here? Hey, T-Talk. Shout out to the content creators. I saw Pastor Braylon Lee. We got Trending at some point. We got Aunt Debbie. We got Pink Table Topics. And any other content creators, if I missed you. I'm not looking at the chat, guys. Not much. Prosperity Thick Girl. Yes. All of the content creators. Thank you guys so much for joining me. But yeah, with Betty, she should not have been there at all. And I just think that it is time for Carlos to keep these mamas off the show. Betty could have minded her business when it comes to this, because if she felt like the tweet was about Stormy, guess what? Then Stormy can say how she feels, how she felt. Why is Betty the mouthpiece? So enough of the mamas, Carlos. We over it. I know I am. We are over it. She needs to get her some business, like for real. And let Stormy handle her business. We had the same issue with Wanda. So that is the episode, guys. That's how it ended. I hope next week they are completely done with Betty. I hope they go ahead and escort her right on up off that stage. I do not like how Kiki was there solo dolo. Kiki is married. Now, I don't know if that was Kiki's choice, but I feel like just how Mel and Martel are divorced. So I'm not talking about them. But for all the other married couples to be sitting there with their spouse, I feel like Kiki should have as well. And that's why I made sure to put that in this collage that I made up. Because you see Tisha and Marceau, you see Kimmy and Maurice, you see Stormy and Courtney, you see Nell and Chris, you see Tiffany and Big Lou, and then the former couple, now divorced, Mel and Martel. And not that they were there as a support of each other, but I'm sure you guys get what I'm saying. I feel like Kiki should not have been solo, especially going against Marceau and Tisha. So her husband should have been there to defend her. So, you guys, Prosperity, I know that I'm not sure who may talk to Kiki, but that's the question that I would love to ask. If her husband was invited and she just told him to stay at home, or if he was not invited, I would really, really like to know that. Afro Carrie, I feel the same. I feel like Carlos just don't like Kiki. I ain't never seen Carlos go at somebody like he did Kiki. I didn't like it. But next week they will touch on Nell and Chris Fletcher's infidelity. They will talk about the woman that Martel had in the house in Houston. And I don't know if you guys catch like I catch. I'll wait to see if anybody on the panel caught what I caught, heard what I heard. I'll go ahead and say it. The lady was a masseuse. Martel brought that lady in the house to get a massage because Kimmy even asked Mel. Okay, he had football with their son. Okay, thank you, Prosperity. But Kimmy even said, Mel, you got a massage as well, didn't you? So either Martel is lying, saying that she was a massage therapist, or that was the case. She looked like she was dressed for something like that, you know. But yeah, it is what it is. Yes, Vi, but Prosperity said that he had a football game with their son, and that's why he T-Talk say Martel's ours. Well, you ain't say ours, T-Talk. T-Talk said Martel lying. All right, we gonna find out for sure. T-Talk with your girl. We gonna find out. Let me get the link together. Oh, I did good time. I made good time. Even with the mishaps. Thank you guys again for joining me for the second live. The first one was a whole hot mess. But I'm curious to see how I'm going to be able to hear you guys in these headphones. I'll hook up a new mic after this live. And child, wish I could take this Yeti back. I've had it for about a good year. Oh, I need to see if I got a thing on that, a warranty. But anyway, the link is dropped. I'm gonna read some comments. Shout out to Succeeding. Missed you. So glad to see you in the chat. Wow, the panelists are coming up backstage. I want to say thank you guys again for joining me for this live. Please hit the like button. Shout out to 21.8K. I was at 7 early this week, but child, I'm at 21.8. So if you are subscribed to me, I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you enjoy my content. I do love a good debate. You can most definitely disagree with me as long as you keep it respectful. But welcome to Chit Chat with QT. All right, I see a couple people backstage, but let me read a couple comments while we get a full panel. S. White, you said you have to remember Carlos is the one who told Funky about coleslaw and Kiki's issues. I never heard that Carlos was the one that told Funky about coleslaw. I do remember Funky Dineva asking folks at that time, if you know this girl, hit me up. And I think that a lot of people hit him up. Not sure. Funky acted like he knew Kiki before she even got on the show. Okay. Even with Kiki, S. White, and I'm glad you guys mentioned Funky Child because look, there are pieces of everyone's content that I enjoy on YouTube. Joe Budden has proven himself to be a jerk, okay? But I could look at some of his podcasts and enjoy parts of it. People seem to believe, oh no, ma'am. You watch Funky Dineva after what he said about black women. Look, if it don't apply, I let it fly. Funky can't say nothing about me. I don't take in everything everybody say about me, if I'm a black woman or not, and parts of his content. But am I aware of the things that Funky Dineva has said? Absolutely. Did I come out here and cuss Funky Dineva's ass out a couple times? Absolutely. But he is a content creator. And I think that some of you took me saying I respect When I say I respect anybody that starts a YouTube channel at 1 subscriber, and if they build it up to 5, if they build it up to 10 or 15 or 500 or 50,000 or whatever, I respect that. And there's been other content creators as well that said the same thing. So, sometimes I have to separate the two. And yeah, but please believe I've made content on him. So let me go ahead. But yeah, S. White, I don't know about the Kiki part, but I do know this. He was absolutely on Kiki's arse from the beginning. So maybe I missed that. And maybe I missed about Carlos telling him about coleslaw. I'm sure somebody on the panel will be able to let me know. But let me let the panel up because I'm curious again to see how I'm going to be able to hear them. Prosperity.
Hey.
Okay, cool. So I still hear you from the speakers of my desktop, and but I'm talking through my mic. These headphones. I don't like these headphones, child, at all. All right, let me let everybody else up. Hold on 1 second. And guys, my computer is moving slow, but thank you, Lord, for letting me get through this here live. Let me take this down and let me welcome the panel. So we won't be here long, panel. Let's try to do 5 to 7 minutes or less each. That'll give us like another hour. But I appreciate you guys. We have Prosperity, Thick Girl. We also have Girlfriends Chronicles. Girlfriend Chronicles, you have a channel as well, right?
I do. I'm getting back on track. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And any content creators in the chat, you guys know, please grab the link to your page and drop it in the chat. I do not mind at all. You guys make sure to subscribe to everyone. But welcome, Girlfriends Chronicles. Welcome, Neva P. Hey, Neva.
Hi, Chit Chat. How are you?
Good. Neva, were you in Members Only Friday?
Yes.
You were. Were you on the
No, I wasn't.
Okay, look at me. Oh, I need some business. I need some business. I'm gonna clock it. Okay. Oh, I need. All right, Neva. I knew I missed your voice. Okay. We have QT. QT. Hello, QT.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Much better. I was struggling with a cold for a while, but much
Oh,
better.
oh no. I hope you feel better soon. It's definitely going around. Stay liquid up. Liquid up. Warning to anybody, real quick, because I just found this out, and I'm sure those that's in the medical profession may know. But when you take like the DM medications, Robitussin, DM, or whatever, the DM, from what I understand, makes your blood pressure shoot up. So I wish I would have known that before I was taking it. But anyway, I don't know, succeeding. I don't know if you had your I'll see if I can gift it though. I don't know if you had your auto membership or whatever renewed, but hold on, we'll get you. We'll get you. But thank you, QT. I hope you feel better. Now let me say this. This
Thank
is
you.
QT with a Q and T. And I've always had people to ask me, how did I get QT? Cuetea. Q up the T. Q up the T. That's why I selected. Anyway, just wanted to say that. All right. And next up, we got my sis, LaDawn. Hey, LaDawn.
Hey, everybody. How are y'all?
Hey,
Good.
sis.
And you not resting your voice. I still hear it in your
Hey.
voice. You better lay
It's,
off these pounds. Lay off. Look at me. Oh, I'm so bossy. Let me stop
I,
that too. 2020.
I'm only going on. I only went on a couple.
Uh-huh. Okay. I'm
A
going to go through
couple.
YouTube to find out. No, I'm just playing. I hope you feel better soon, sis. I still hear it in your voice. Hey, Simply Beautiful. And last but not least is the pastor. Braylon Lee.
Hey
Hey,
everybody. Hey Chit Chat.
Hey.
Hey everybody. Good to hear
Hey.
y'all.
Braylon, how are you?
Doing good, beautiful. Doing good. Good to be here.
All right. Thank you for being here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. To the 700 people that are watching, thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you all. And also, please hit the like button for me. We're going to go ahead and start with Prosperity Thick Girl. Oh, wait a minute, Prosperity. Hold horses, baby. We got my Aunt Debbie in the house. Hey,
Yes,
Aunt
Lord.
Debbie.
Hey, Aunt Debbie.
Aunt
Hello.
Debbie, how are you? Aunt Debbie, you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Hey,
All right.
everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
Aunt
Aunt
Debbie.
Debbie. All right. And then Prosperity, hold on. Chronicles of Kim K. Thank you so much. I did um, go out and buy Coricidin, and I wasn't aware of it until I went to urgent care, and they're the one that told me. So, yes, going around, you guys make sure to stay in if possible. But Prosperity, go ahead and get started. Your thoughts. First of all, Prosperity.
Yes.
You lost someone that was close to you. Was she a subscriber?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you can go ahead and say a little bit, my prayers and condolences go out to you. Thank you for sending me the DM. Go out to you and to her family. And I'm sorry to hear it. But if you wanted to say something in her honor before you get started, feel free.
Well, her name was Christian,
Christian. Okay.
and she was a subscriber to you. She was a subscriber to a lot of
Was
different
she?
of
I
our
didn't
favorite.
remember the name Prosperity.
Yeah, she used to come over here.
Okay. Okay.
She had a long, long bout with cancer. She had the kind of cancer that was never going to go away, but she fought.
Mm,
She fought. She fought.
mm,
For
mm,
over
mm.
7 years, she fought.
Oh,
So
God.
I'm happy for her life. I just
Yeah.
wish that her youngest daughter had more time with her mom because I'm 44 and I wish I had my mom. So I
Yeah.
can just imagine how growing up without you and the type of mom she was, I can just imagine that being a big void and hole in her
Mm-hmm.
life. And I
Mm-hmm.
celebrate her and I celebrated her yesterday and I'm gonna celebrate her all the time because
Yes.
she's a big part of my channel. And when I love you, I love you. And if you're a part of me, that's what we do. We love on each other. We celebrate each other. We celebrate our
Yes.
wins. We cry without. We console
Mm-hmm.
each other with our failures, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just how it should be. And
That's
I'm gonna
that
keep
big.
her alive through me as much as I can.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Bless your
And
heart.
yes, again, my condolences. I wish that I remembered her name. And I must say, and I told you guys, I got memory like an elephant, so I'm shocked. Her name was
But it's okay because
Crystal.
at the end she wasn't really on. She wasn't even in my
Okay.
chat like that at the end,
Okay.
so you
Okay.
probably wouldn't remember. I just know it because we had a different type of relationship.
Okay. Okay. Well,
So it
thank
ain't nothing,
you.
no, not to make you feel bad or anything. Just I was just bringing it
Yeah.
to your attention just in
Yeah,
case.
no, I'm just over here wrecking my brain now, even with the name, and it's not familiar to me. But may she rest in peace. Um, Prayers going out. She only had one daughter.
No, she had good 8, but step
Okay,
and
and her
regular
kid.
kids, and they were all her kids.
Okay, well, prayers going out to her children, her family, and sometimes we have to get a little comfort when the battle on earth is over, especially when you're battling something like cancer. So, she's no longer going through that. She's still here with you, Prosperity. She's still here with all of us. And, she's no longer in pain. But thank you again for sending me the DM. And I'm glad that you clicked the link because I did want to make sure to give you the time to talk about that. And thank you to each and every one of you in the chat that's putting the prayer hands in. And yes, condolences go out to Chrysalin's family. May she rest in peace.
Amen.
Sometimes we have a reality check, you know what I mean? Where we sitting there talking mess about these folks on TV and the real um, comes along. So again, we are praying. We love you, Prosperity. And go ahead, sis. Get started before I get choked up over here.
And me
Go
too.
ahead.
Thank you for that opportunity, though.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right,
Carlos,
thoughts on the episode?
Carlos the King needs his tail whipped. He was totally disrespectful to that lady. I don't care how you see her. If you see her beneath you, I don't care how you see her, but the way he drilled her as if he wanted her to be on drugs, as if he wanted her to be high in that moment, as if he wanted to trip her up and make her say something that she didn't mean to say, as the way he wanted to be on Marceau and Tisha's side, the way he sat there and told her to be quiet, but let them run on and ramble about her life as if she wasn't sitting there and can tell her own story. I didn't like none of it at all. And then how he got mad at Dustin in the review when he asked Dustin, well, do you think Kiki could possibly still be using drugs? And Dustin said, ain't no way in hell that Kiki is on drugs. He said she may smoke some green stuff, or she may have a little shot or two of some cognac or some Parmesan or all the brown stuff, but not drugs. And I was glad that he said that, because who gives you the right to try to determine somebody's life? That girl know her story. And if you would have took the time to look up methadone side effects, as Simone says, the side effects, everything has a side effect. And the side effects of it is the sweatiness, the jitteriness, and all of that. And you are the owner of a company, and this is how you talk to somebody that is under your employment? This is how you talk about them? You didn't only do that on the reunion. You went to your reviews and tried to make that girl sing less than. And I ain't like it. And everybody know I got a relationship with Kiki. But if that was somebody else, I would not have liked it. Because she's a human being before she is anything. And Kimmy with your, oh my girl, you just need to go sit down. Are you mad because her forehead was wetter than your pouch, ma'am? Is that the problem? You saw wetness and it's triggered you because you haven't felt it in a while? That pissed me off. Like, but well, let me remember to say this part. I forgot we had the meeting. I gotta say this. I can't let my family down. Don't want them mad at me like they was last reunion. Girl, get a life. You have become just as irrelevant as your margarine as husband. He ain't even butter. He margarine. And the cheap, the store brand, the Piggly Wiggly, as Wanda says, that brand.
No, man. No, man.
And
Not the generic version.
And when margarine
gets generic version, Prosperity.
He's a Piggly Wiggly version. And when goddamn margarine gets hot, it melts. And you still ain't wet, ma'am. You laying up under margarine. And that don't trickle down. Like, girl, you really need to find yourself, find your voice again. You done turned into Tisha. You are irrelevant as your husband. Like, why are y'all still here? Why? Sitting there looking like the cowardly lion. If you only had a brain, girl, back. Tisha, if we want to talk about somebody being jittery and all moving and acting different as if we was on the upper, how about that, ma'am? Because you was totally different than you have ever been. So what were you on? Since we want to talk about somebody maybe on something, you and your husband. Y'all couldn't sit still. Then you want to pull out paper. Well, she cheated on her husband cheated on her, and she paid for a date for her husband. And it take Martel, of all people, the brainless wonder, Martel, to be like, come on, Tisha, you act like that girl arranged this. Oh, but I don't know if she did. I don't know if she did. Girl, you know she didn't.
And it was 20 years ago. Exactly. You know what I mean? Before they were married.
Let's talk about the things that you have heard about your husband, even if you ain't never found out nothing to be true. The rumors is enough for you to be looking sideways, ma'am. Since we want to talk about somebody being stupid, you are. You're illiterate and you're dumb.
Ooh, child.
You're educationally illiterate and you're dumb for your man. And if you want to be dumb, but don't act like we looking at you like we shouldn't be. Like you ain't never gave us a reason to, as if he ain't never gave you a reason to, ma'am. I don't like these people. Carlos, you be picking the wrong team. Mel can't talk. Can't nobody talk. Martel can say what he want to say. The Scots can say what they want to say. And if you're not now one of them, he want to keep quieting you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that Mel ain't playing with nobody this time. Sit there, be quiet, and say something when you need to, and let everybody do what they're gonna do otherwise. And Miss Betty, you turn face. Watch me, your face.
Ooh, child.
Lady, you really need to grow up. You are too grown to be
Hold
sitting
on.
there.
Hold on, Prosperity. Can you hear me, Prosperity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I see Too True in the chat saying no sound. Sis, if you there, Fifi, I see you. You guys put a 1 if you can hear me and Prosperity. Prosperity can hear me. I
I
can
hear
hear
all
her.
y'all.
LaDawn can
I
hear
hear
me.
everyone. I hear everyone.
Everybody on the panel can hear. We'll just be talking to each other, chat.
I hear
Okay.
everyone.
I
Okay.
do as
We
well.
good. We good. Okay. Now, Prosperity, hold on 1 second because I have a person backstage that I've never seen before. Let me see, child. You was talking about Betty. So just so we could stay on track. Hold on, Prosperity. Hold on. Let me see who this is back here. All right.
You know what?
Dustin Butler. Oh, I didn't mean to say the full government. Dustin,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Can I see your face? I didn't. Okay, move over a little bit, Dustin, so I can see you in the camera.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to do it on my tablet. It's hard to do.
Uh-huh. Now, I do need to ask you a couple questions, Dustin. Are
Yes,
you familiar with what this conversation is about?
yes.
What is it about?
It's about 11 Marriage Huntsville.
Okay. And if you can you let me know the name of the couple that was on the show, started the show, that's now divorced?
I can't do that question. I'm sorry.
Huh?
You don't know that, Dustin?
No, I do not.
All right, Prosperity, we're gonna go ahead and let Dustin talk. Go ahead, Dustin.
Hold on just a minute. I'm sorry. Can I take
Uh,
the camera off?
you can take it off. Uh-huh.
All right. I just feel like Martel hold. I feel like with the I feel bad for his kids because I feel like this whole situation is putting his kids in a rut because I feel like since he's ain't gonna be in jail possibly, I feel like that his kids are not gonna have him in his life, and it's very very sad to me about that
Oh,
situation.
okay, so you're speaking of Martell.
Why?
You're speaking of Martell Holtz
Yes.
kids. Okay, now let me ask you a question, Dustin. When it comes to that, if he may get arrested and go to jail or whatever, whose fault do you think that would be? Would it be of his own doing?
I don't think it. I think it would be part of his own doing and part of part of her wrongdoing as well. I think they're both. I think they're both in fault with that.
Who, meaning him and Coleslaw, Ariane Curry?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, Dustin, I appreciate your commentary. Did you have anything else to say regarding the episode?
No, thank you. That's all I had to say.
All right. Well, we got somebody that was here for, and I agree with you. I'm going to be real serious for 1 second, Dustin. Number one, I don't think that he'll get any time, not as of where the charges stand now. It's a misdemeanor, and most likely he'll get, probation or something like that. So, but I do think that there's a lot of things that he's done where we should feel sorry for his children, especially that.
I do feel on a certain level. I do feel really bad for his children on a certain level with that
Yes.
situation. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree. I
Mm-hmm.
agree. I feel for all the kids. Kids are innocent, so I
Yeah.
definitely agree
I
with
don't.
you.
I don't. I think that it's hard when you have kids with somebody and it's very hard, and then because you're
Mhm.
stuck in a rut. So I feel like it's hard to involve somebody
Yeah,
else. Hard to
yeah,
involve kids in a situation like that. It's a very sticky situation.
it is. It really is. And it's sad. Effective, pleasant co parenting is the answer. But I think that in order for, speaking of the couple that I asked you about that you didn't know, but we now know you're talking about Martel Hope that was married to Mel. Speaking of them, I think that until they get to that point, and with me
Mm-hmm.
watching the show the way that I do and knowing everything that goes behind the scenes, I do
Well,
think that
I know
Mel,
that. I think they got I think they're divorced now, ain't they?
yeah,
They're
they are
divorced.
divorced.
So
Yep,
I
they've been
think that
divorced for a couple years.
so I think that it's a very sticky a situation, very sticky situation all the way around.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It
it's
is.
it's just very sad in my opinion.
It is. It
Hmm.
is.
Yeah.
And we're praying for all parties involved, including the parents, but like you said, especially the kids. So it is my hope and prayer,
Mm-hmm.
Dustin, that um their dad thinks
Hmm.
of them first,
Me
thinks of
too.
them down
Yeah.
the line, and thinks of the
Mm.
questions that they may have, and hopefully he can start to do things a little differently. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So all right. Well, Dustin, I have enjoyed you. Thank you so very much for clicking the channel. Are you subscribed?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you, Dustin. Thank you.
I'm new to the panel, so I mean I know a lot about the show. I know all the couples, but when you asked me about being divorced, I didn't know if you were talking
Uh-huh.
about Martel Holt or not. I don't know if you were talking about somebody else.
Oh,
I know all the couples, but you just kind of threw me through a loop when you asked me about being divorced.
oh, it's okay.
And
It's okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
what
okay.
I had a question for you and the rest of the panels as well. What did
Mhm.
you think about when he had when Carlos King had to stand up in the middle of a uh thing
Mm.
and stand up for somebody? What did you think about that?
Well, Dustin, I checked on that. I mean, I touched on that in my recap, but I'll go ahead and say it again. I believe that proves that Carlos has witnessed Martel getting out of pocket several times,
Hmm.
and it proved to me that he knew what would be next, and what would
Hmm.
have been next is Martel probably jumping up in Mel face, hollering and yelling and all of that. So, um, yeah, that's what I feel about that.
I mean,
I think
I just
Carlos knew
I
what
feel
to come.
bad for the whole I feel bad for the whole situation and the whole family. I mean, because soon as you do something like that, you never know what you're gonna find out. So it's just a
Hmm.
sad situation all the way around.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. I agree. I see you succeeding. I agree, Dustin. Yeah, it's sad. And
Yes.
even with
Hmm.
that, and we're gonna end it because we do have to get back in order here. But even with that, I feel like if Carlos knows that he has to do that, then Carlos should also know, hey, if I gotta do this, then maybe I need to go ahead on and let this man get some real help where I don't have to do this going forward. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Martell is a little unpredictable, and I think that's why. And he has a track record of blowing up, you know. So it's unfortunate, but like you said, Dustin, prayers going up for the children. Prayers going up for the children. So I thank you, Dustin. Did you have anything else you wanted to contribute?
No, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us up on this panel. I am going to go back up to Prosperity Thick Girl. And L'Oreal, come back up. You were up, but come back up. And then, yeah, we got us a good 45 minutes left. So, Prosperity, go ahead and finish up.
Your Betty face,
Ooh, child.
you turn, as I call her because her face shaped like a U and it's made from the rocks from Mount Rushmore. She mad because that's where she's supposed to be and they took her down. But I don't like how, girl, you too grown. Like Mel said, you old enough to be her mother. And I think you look probably old enough, you look old enough to be her mama's mama. But You doing too much. Like, that's between her and your daughter. That's your problem. Stay out the Facebook groups. You too mad. Like, everybody, nobody thought that she was talking about your daughter. I don't know nobody that thought that she was talking about Stormy in the first place. Everybody I thought that I heard say anything always thought it was Destiny who played the tape recorder. Destiny did, so it makes sense. But you want a reason to be mad at Mel so bad that you put in Stormy head. No, she was talking about you. She was talking about you. Your daughter asking you to shut up, and you sitting there acting a whole fool. Like, you need to get it together because that was not cute. And I see why your sister don't like you because nobody else do. But also, speaking of kids, that's another thing Carlos needed to be reminded of. Kiki do have kids.
Yeah. Good point.
She got kids, and she got a son that's in high school about to graduate and go to college. Why should I have to hear about this man grilling my mama? Are you still on drugs? Well, are you high now? Were you ever high? Did you ever use something? Are you sure? Did you take some cold medicine? What did you take? You had to take something. Come on, Carlos. That was just too much, and it was wrong. And you need to apologize to that lady because you were wrong. And she better than me because, baby, defamation of character is a thing. And yes, go on.
Thank you for mentioning the kids. Because yes, kids that's old enough to know what's being said about their mama. And I doubt that Carlos would have said that about anybody else's mom. You know what I mean? Or daddy. So yeah.
He wouldn't have said that about Wanda.
Excellent point. All right, Prosperity, go ahead and finish up. And then we're going to get to QT. No, Girlfriend Chronicles. I'm sorry. After Prosperity.
But I'm basically finished. But you turn Betty Face, lady. Why was she even there? Like that made no sense. I don't think I'm the only person that made no sense to. Mel didn't even have a scene with you. Like, she talked about you one time at the coffee shop and said she wasn't reaching for you. Why was Betty there? Carlos wanted that moment. Carlos do something to affect Mel, try to affect Mel badly every reunion. Every single reunion. And it is ridiculous because what you need to remember is you may have changed up the program a little bit. But if that lady did not take that consultation with you, pay for a consultation with you, and shot this at you, you would still be behind the scenes and we wouldn't be saying your name the way we are today. So look at the person who gave you this gift and act like you appreciate it. Because you don't act appreciative at all. You were doing little things behind the scenes, but your name wasn't out front. You ain't had no #1 show nowhere. You were always behind. You were behind in Bravo. You were behind on NBC. She gave you the opportunity to come to the foreground for people to know who you really are and what you can really do. But stop acting like this lady ain't give you nothing. Martel ain't give you a damn thing. Mel did. Martel said he sat at that table and ain't say not a daggone thing. He was just a driver. She presented this to you. She's the reason for the season. And remember that.
Good point. Carlos the King. We hope you listening. Prosperity, you going to the event on the 21st?
No, I'm not going to the Huntsville.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, for those of you that's going, first of all, I put it up. If you didn't see Mel's story, there's a free after party. Go to Eventbrite. The exact link, I'm sure, is on Mel's page. But for those of you that are going, there is a free after party. And even Marcus, Mel's brother, said yesterday while he was on vacation, child, in Mexico, ooh, that weather looked good. He said he's going to be there as well. But Prosperity, you said it all, sis. Hopefully, Carlos is listening. You said it all, and I totally agree. Although it could have been a setup, it didn't end well for Betty. Mel held her own. So I think Mel, thick of folks, I think Mel know the deal. And that deal is with any lead person in a reality show. The it girl or the it boy. Nene Leakes for one. Everybody that was on Real Housewives of Atlanta, almost everybody, knew to go at Nene because they was going to get some screen time. And Betty just trying to do what Wanda did, trying to use Wanda's formula. But I agree with you. and everybody in the chat. She had no business being there, period. Because that was between Stormy and Mel, if anything, not Betty, you know? So,
And like
yeah.
Dustin says, sis, she one mother too late. That's already been done. Wanda done already took that spot. Wanda done already did that. You need to find your own stitch and stick with it, because that one ain't it.
Exactly. Been there, done that. We don't want to do it again. And as I mentioned, why not show the moms that are positive? Maybe the Scott mother could be a positive mom on the show. We know Miss Van is a positive mom on the show.
And
So I
Courtney
think that
mama.
Carla is going with that Real Housewives of Atlanta formula and love and hip hop formula with the Mama D's and the Mama Joyce and all of that. But thank you, Prosperity. We do have to get to Girlfriend Chronicles. But first, let me read Too Blessed for You. Sending my therapy bill. That picture of Betty Kruger. Not Betty Kruger, child. Thank you, Too Blessed for You.
Plenty dollars. Plenty dollars. Can we get
My sound over here, I can still hear good, but yeah, my video clips are moving in slow motion for some reason. But thank you again, Prosperity. Thank you to the chat. I appreciate you guys, and we're gonna go ahead and get to Girlfriend Chronicles. If you can keep it to about a 5-minute mark.
You know, I talk fast, so y'all gonna have to excuse me. Plus, I got getting over pneumonia, or I'm on the down upper side, so I'm good. Thank you. That's what I'm telling LaDonna. She don't get off. She keep telling me to sit my tail down. She all over the place. So Miss LaDonna, look.
Sit your tail down somewhere. That's what
Don't
I'm
be
saying.
snitching.
Okay, look, thank you, girlfriend, for snitching. I'm gonna go through YouTube and see where I see that L.
Right, because I'm like, let me get up on the pill. And I see Miss LaDonna. I said, they ain't gonna
See?
talk about me. Okay, so let me go. Prosperity Thick Girl, condolences to your friend on behalf of my family, to you and yours and hers. Carlos, I can't call him the king. I refuse him to give any title like that. He's despicable. I'm so disgusted with him. I watched the Bell Collective reunion, how he grilled Latrice and Cliff in regards to the allegations on their behalf or whatever.
Oh, I missed it. I mean,
it was good.
It was good.
It was good. Okay. Yeah, please go watch that, because my thing is you grill them on that situation, but you never grill Martel on what his allegations are. But yeah, see that. Watch that. And it just after I saw that, I just it's despicable. It's like, come on, keep it. You have these shows, keep it across the board. What you gonna do on one, you should do on all. Kiki, I feel sorry for I'm 50-50. I'm straddling the fence with Kiki, because I don't like the situation of her, whatever her situation is, her addiction, her not addiction, whatever it is. I don't know what it is to her, because she has her own interpretation of what she's going through, and no one should take that away from her. But I don't like Letitia and Marceau. Karen, so I don't like him. I think he's this little spat that he wants to have. He is the true Karen of the show. Tiffany, yes, she may be in her own right, but he is also, because he's in everybody's business, trying to, like everybody say, he's trying to get screen time, because he's trying to stay away from his infidelities or accusations of whatever they got up his nose or not up his, whatever the situation is. I don't know. I don't care. I just think it's despicable, one, how they're treating everybody on the show, because Marceau is in everybody's business. He's the only person that has an issue with every person on the show, except for maybe Kimmy and his brother, maybe. Let me see. Betty, I feel like Betty probably works Stormy's farm, because it looks like she may have been kicked in one of them goats in her face before they done ran away. Because she displays that type of anger and attitude of evilness. Like you said, she's taken on Wanda's little sister role, but been there, done that. Like Prosperity Thick Girl said, like there's no need to repeat the same thing over and over. You have Courtney's mom, you have Miss Van that can be on there. We don't know how the Scott mama is because the way her boys are, I can't say too much about how I think she is. Um uh, I just think, I just can't say. Oh, Kimmy, that's what I want to say about Kimmy. Kimmy, you took, what is it, the Hippocratical, the whatever oath that you took as a nurse. My
Mm-hmm.
thing is, I'm glad she's no longer a nurse because she would be in such a violation. I don't see her as really being a good person. She's not a good person. She's so envious, jealous. Um, she's not a girl's girl, as here for hot tea say. She's just not for
Mm-hmm.
the women. She's still licking her lips and
Mhm.
skirting her eyes at Martell, like he really, like she want to try that little 3-inch hook and curve that he got. Like I think that's probably why she don't get wet for her man. Dryness is in the air on her behalf, and I don't care what you say. She's no longer attracted to Lemonhead. I think it's just I beat Kiowa. I was that side trick. I just want to stay in the good graces of the Scots. I try not to go against them because everybody know. Well, maybe what Marceau was doing or not doing. Tisha done went and had all of his work done trying to keep up with everybody that she probably feels like he likes. Tisha sitting up there running behind him after the girl in the red dress from Ready to Love. Tisha sitting up there getting upset about the little back pick. Like, come on, it's proof, Tisha. Stop sitting up there playing with Kiki about that.
Mm-hmm.
Martel walked off. Martel's a nutcracker. Martel is a nut. Walking around with them nutcracker pants and that outfit on. Somebody just need to give him his marching papers because that's exactly how he stormed off. And wasn't nobody about to sit up there and look through all of them papers to see no information. You probably pulled them out before you got up back on the set with all of that mess. Martell, my thing is, my mama always say, what image do you want to leave behind when you're gone? What is your legacy? What are you leaving? What is your name supposed to hold in the community? What is your name supposed to hold just in general? And hardly any of them have a good name left behind them because of this show and because of their attitudes, their actions, or their acting skills or lack thereof on the show. That's all I
Yeah.
got. I'm just disgusted with them and I'm losing my breath a little bit. So that's
Now
all for
look, you
yes,
sure
ma'am.
you got no more on your child over there the way you
I
slanging and
can't
banging?
stand them. I can't. The show is just so. It's not toxic. They just have toxic behaviors that I think they're just. Everybody want to be who they're
Yep.
not. That's
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, well, look, Girlfriend Chronicles and said Martell is the nutcracker child, the nutcracker. But dryness is in the air.
Yes, God.
Crack me up. And you know what? That's a good point though. It could be. She said she faked it before. A lot of women do. But a great point to make is some women, if they not attractive, ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing. You know what I mean? That
That's
could be it
me.
too.
That's me.
But
Yep.
naturally, Kimmy took the blame. No, when I was talking about sex, it was about me. She's gonna do that, and I just don't get it. It is what it is. And then also, thank you for mentioning Courtney's mother. I really, really enjoyed that scene that we
Mhm.
saw with Courtney and his mom. So, excellent suggestion as far as who Carlos could put on this show. You know, I
Yep.
don't know if you think that people don't want to watch that and think that people just want ratchet and all of that, but no, I would love it. I would love it. So, Girlfriend Chronicles coming out the gate with it. Thank you so very much, and I'm gonna be bossy to you too, child. I'm gonna tell you just like LaDawn. I bet not see you on nobody's panel. No, I'm just kidding. Take
Excuse me,
care of your
is that the name of her channel?
Yes.
Girlfriend Chronicles. Uh-huh.
Let me go
Yep.
Yes.
subscribe now.
And let
Girlfriend
me.
Chronicles. Drop your
Yeah,
link in
I
the
have
chat.
to get back on track. I got to get back on track dealing with this. And after I came from my cruise, I just have not been able to get it together. So it's like one thing, RSV, this, that, after another. So I'm February. I'm gonna be back on my channel like I should be.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
And
still
thank you for
drop.
that thing about the Robitussin because I didn't know that because I do
Yep.
get high blood
Yes,
pressure. So
ma'am.
thank you for letting me
I just
tell me
found
that.
that out this week. From the DM. Be careful with that DM medicine, especially if you already have high blood pressure, but even if you don't take it in excessive amounts because that's gonna shoot that blood pressure right on up. So we
Okay.
appreciate you, Girlfriends
Thank you.
Chronicle,
Thank you. I'm
girlfriend,
gonna drop down.
and I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you, and you too, Ladon. Get off of here.
You
Thank you.
too, boo.
Take her off as soon as she done. I'm just playing. But yeah, you guys please take care of yourself. That mess is going around. Tynisha. Tynisha, thank you so very much for the Cash App. I'm gonna try to play this on my end, but I'll look at my phone and see if let me get current on my phone and see if it's all the way. Let's see, let's see. Okay. Thank you, Tynisha, for the Cash App. I
Plenty
appreciate
dollars.
you.
Plenty dollars. Can we get?
See, that's weird. It stopped playing for me, but on my phone, I see everything. So I'll do something with this computer when I'm done. But thanks again to Girlfriend Chronicle. Drop your link in the
Yeah,
chat.
drop your link because I can't find you.
Yeah, drop your link.
Please.
Okay, and next up is Neva P. Neva P, your thoughts on the episode? And hey, Neva.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Hello.
evening.
Um, I did like Kimmy and Mel's interaction when asked about Tisha.
Yes.
I thought that was funny. I just think Marceau is, you love to hate Marceau. Marceau, I think he is good for the show, but I do think he needs to mind his business and concentrate on himself.
Thanks.
I just think that Marceau, they do need to leave Tisha alone because obviously he has a woman that's willing to deal, and she done probably signed an NDA, and he probably taking care of her, and she probably not trying to look like coleslaw out here in these streets. So she's gonna be quiet.
Thanks.
Kiki, I don't think that Kiki is still on drugs. I do think that she's struggling with the methadone though. Um, and I really feel kind of bad for her because I do think that she loves her cousin
Yeah.
and she wants to, make things right. She wants to make things right. And I felt like this time today, I mean, when we saw the show, I think she saw that, Tisha really wasn't checking for her like that anymore. I think she saw that Tisha was really serious about really, trying to cut her off. So that made me feel a little bad for Kiki.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as Mel and Martel, I don't have a comment on that because Martel, he just lies on top of lies on top of lies. Um, but as far as Mel and Betty, first of all, Chit Chat, I'm gonna need you to get Betty again, like you got her the last time, because she needs to sit down.
Yeah. I'm over her, okay? For real.
Exactly.
Look, we don't condone no violence. Y'all know
I,
that. But
uh,
we need to sit her mama down because a lot of people out here will not remain respectful. They gonna come back to you with that same energy. And I would hate
exactly.
that to happen.
And if I was Mel Chit Chat, I would have turned towards Stormy, ignored her completely, and I would have responded to Stormy and talked to Stormy and Stormy only,
Mhm.
because I did not like how they encouraged her to disrespect that woman. Because we're not trying to disrespect anybody's mothers, but we not no fools either.
That's right.
I fully
So
agree with that. I know it's not my turn, but I love that you said that because I was thinking that too. I fully agree with that.
absolutely, I wouldn't have given her any time. She don't even know Mel to be. If we really being honest, she don't know Mel like that. And whatever question Stormy had for Mel, she should have just directed it to Mel. I wouldn't have given that woman any time, not at all, period.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany and Lou, it was time for them to go because I could see the change in Tiffany.
Yeah.
Although she was acting like a Karen, and she did run her mouth a lot. I do think it was time for her to go as well.
All right.
And I think That was it. That was all I had as far as the episode, and I did think it was a pretty good reunion.
It was to me as well. Now, this is a question I meant to ask you guys. So once I ask you, Neva P, then I'll go back because this was going to be the final question, but I'm just going to ask the final question after you're done with your thoughts. I agree with you, Neva P, and unfortunately, you know how social media is. And they are saying that Stormy let Mel disrespect her mother, and Stormy didn't have that same energy for Tisha and all of that. What I think is, I think that Stormy knew that her mother was out of line, and that's why she didn't really give Mel any pushback like that, because she knew it. You know what I mean? She kept saying, "Mama, stop. Mama, please. Betty, stop." You know, but like you said, I probably would have. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I would have done the same thing. I can't lie, guys. I can't lie. I'm a match your energy type of girl. Now I may read you in a nice, cool, calm, collected way, but I'm gonna say something. But exactly what you're saying, that don't even address her. Let's just hope we don't see her next season.
Exactly. But also, Chit Chat, do you and the panel remember? That's how Stormy and them roll. I don't even really feel like Stormy thought that as disrespect, because she's no better. She talked to her mother like she's somebody out on the street too. So, they gutter like that.
Yeah, they
So
are.
they are very gutter like that. So I really don't think that Stormy took it as Mel disrespecting her mom. And I don't think that she probably wanted to stop her mother uh because she was on a show, but on a regular, I think that's how they roll like that. And as far as her sister Lisa, did we all forget that her sister said, "Now look, out of all of us, I'm the only one working." She's the only one working a job. So, they all the rest of them, they can take turns with Stormy's mother to watch the mother, and she can do the best that she can do, once she comes home from work or whatever the case may be. But she don't need Stormy's mother to tell her when to visit her own mother.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I just agree. But Lisa also said that Betty was evil and this and that, so that I'm sure that plays a part in her even wanting to stop over there to see
Of
her mother.
course.
Mother
Of
lives
course, because you don't want to come over there and look at Betty. You want to come over there and sit with your mother.
with your mother. You gotta look at that, child. You gotta look at that.
Exactly.
All those evil vibes, and Betty, she's just, and I hate to say it, I promise you, if I had something good to say, I would, but this is how she came on the scene. And I could see your point as far as Stormy feeling like, hey, this is regular, this is normal, this is how it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Just like she feels with the B comment. I
Right.
try hard not to say the B word, even if it's towards somebody. I don't joke with it. Like, that's my B. What's up, B? I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I thought that was inappropriate too, because even through my life with my friends, school, and all that, I don't play with the B word, and I don't play with your mama word. I don't play with those two things. You know how people's like, "Hey, what's up, B?" I don't do none of that.
Me
But
either.
that's how Stormy and them roll. That's how they roll. So she
Yeah,
couldn't get mad back at Marceau when she said that's just how they do.
yeah, yeah. That's true. Good point.
Thank you
Good.
so much. I'm finished.
You okay? Before you go,
Sure.
because I'm taking a poll, because a lot of people were in my comments earlier saying they married, they married, they married. Yes or no? Do you think Martel and Coleslaw are married?
No, but if they are married, it's just so she can't testify.
Okay. All right. That's your answer.
Yeah.
Prosperity. I meant to ask you, yes or no? You think Coleslaw and Martel are married?
I don't think them people married. I don't even think them people know how to spell their name to put it on the daggone marriage license.
Ooh, child. That's a no. That is a no. And you guys know I'm a no. So I'm just gonna keep a little tally. That's 3 no's so far. I
And
respect
again, like you
everybody's
said,
opinion, though.
if they are, it's only because they don't want her to testify against him. But they also need to know that it's because that you don't want to, don't mean you can't. So if you make her mad,
Right.
we know she
Yeah.
like Mad Day a whole lot.
Yeah, girl, bye. We all would know. Okay, the world would know if they was married, and that wouldn't work in this case because the crime was before marriage. So you know what I mean.
And she
If
already
they was
told
married,
us.
if they not married.
She
Anyway,
already
we'll get
snitched
back to
on
that.
us.
Prosperity. We're gonna get back to that in the power hour. I just wanted to ask you guys that hit the link tonight. Um, you know, my personal opinion. And Mel would know, absolutely no. Her and Martel are still in an active case when it comes to those children. And I just think that it would be out here. That's just me. I just think that it would be out here. So we'll
Oh, chit
see.
chat. One more
Take
thing.
care of each other. Go ahead.
And heck no, I wouldn't want my kids around nobody that couldn't stand me.
Hmm.
Period.
Heck no. It's a hard no.
Yeah, period. Period. Don't trust them, and you
Nope.
gotta pray hard because any little thing can set that chick off. And you around my kids, you know,
Uh-huh. And
and
then
we've
she gonna
discussed.
see how any little thing would set me off too.
Oh, baby, it's off. Okay, ain't no more setting. It's off. Please believe. Yeah, I'm sure that is hard for Mel. You know, but like she said, she goes into protective mode. She's a praying woman. I'm sure she pray over her kids when it's time for them to go and all of that. And I also think that she got especially, they're all intelligent, smart kids, but Boss Baby on up. Boss Baby Tank and Mariah know exactly what to do in case anything happens. And I'm sure that she's prepared them for that as well. But you shouldn't even have to. Martell should
Exactly.
enough to know that this girl has talked about your own kids. How,
Hmm.
how is she fit to be around your kids? She's talked about them kids negatively.
But
Just
do you
recently in
but
the
chit
latest
chat.
video, hold on, one
Okay, I'm
second.
sorry.
Just recently in the latest video that Original Straight with No Chaser released, she was joking, talking negatively about their hair. Now, she didn't say any names, but she said, talking about how Mel has this hair product. Now I can see about Tisha because you can see the results, but you know you can see the results with her kids, but you can't see no results with me. That's talking about his kids. You
It
know what I mean? So
sure is.
he's dumb. I'm sorry, he's dumb, and it is what it is. But go ahead real quick, and we got to move on to QT.
Real quick, I forgot to ask as far as now I forgot. Never mind. I forgot now. It slipped my
You forgot?
mind.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay,
No, don't worry.
okay, let me know if it does. Let me know if it does. Come back to you. But
Okay,
we're gonna
hon.
go back to and thank you so much, Neva P. Thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
all right. And we're gonna go into QT. QT, your thoughts on the episode?
Hey, so to answer your question first, no, I don't think they're married, even though I troll about them being married on Prosperity's channel. No, they're not married. But if they did get married, I'm gonna give you another one. He would do it just to have her around to continue weaponizing her against Melody. Because that's
Period.
what she's good at. That's what she's good for, among many other crazy things. But yeah.
Mhm.
So for the episode, the Scott 1.0 are the biggest Karens on the show. I mean, they
Mhm.
really are, but especially Marcel. So I appreciate it when Tiffany fired back at him about that because he was in everybody's business. Even though I appreciated him, being throwing slick shade at Martell, he still be in everyone's business. Um the thing about Betty, and I agree, I appreciated Mel matching energy, but once she said, "I'm not here for you," I think that the best course of action would have been to redirect her energy to and her commentary to Stormy, because that's who had the issue. Because Betty was just all over the place trying to talk about some Facebook
Mhm.
chat room talking points and was not trying to make sense at that point. She was trying to have a moment, and Mel
Mhm.
kept asking her to repeat herself. I wouldn't have kept doing that. I'd have just been like, okay, the first time I said it, you didn't want to. I'd have just turned my body and directed it at Stormy and not giving her any more energy. Because really, honestly, this is boring at this point. And anybody who's like saying Stormy allowed Mel to disrespect her mother. If that's disrespect, then I listen, I'll take it because Mel has yet to be very disrespectful to anyone's mama until they go too far. Like when Wanda was talking about her kids.
Mhm.
And also Betty has been in these groups talking about her kids. But hey, but she didn't say it on this show in that woman's face. So I mean, Mel has tried to keep it cute with the elders, but they keep coming for her. So at some point, people are gonna have enough.
Yeah.
About Kiki, this reunion, I'm not gonna lie, I was not. There were some moments that I was amused by, but I felt like this reunion has been trash, and it's just the vibe that I've been getting from it, and the narratives that I feel like they have been trying to provoke. And the biggest one is with Kiki. They made Kiki look really bad, and now, or tried to, but it looks bad on them as well. Scott 1.0 was real reckless with the you know can I say the D word?
Allegations.
Yeah,
What's
her substance abuse allegations. I'll
oh,
go there. They
mhm.
were reckless with that, saying it as if it was fact. And this woman is saying, no, I'm not, and answering all these questions. And they just, instead of going back to them, they asked them once or twice, how do you know? But they never gave any concrete facts. But you're having Kiki constantly repeat herself. And it was just real reckless. And if Kiki did want to take legal action, I don't blame her because that's just real
Mhm.
reckless with her reputation. And also, they didn't talk about how Kiki went on IG and posted her test results
She did.
from her program.
Hmm.
So, I mean, and we all found out, we all looked things up, different tests detect methadone and or whatnot. So, I mean, the woman says she's not doing it. She's not doing it. She can't speak on that Home Depot thing. It's an active case. The same way Mel and Martell can't talk about their active cases, the same way the Scotts can't talk about their active cases. So it's just like, you want her to explain something, but she can't. So anyway, I just thought that was horrible. I didn't like it. I felt bad for Kiki. It just was not a good look. I didn't like the narrative. And then finally, the narrative with that they continue to paint Mel with that somehow she's the evil, the supreme evil, and a bitter ex-wife. And it's like, you all know what Martell does, how Martell is. We watched during the season him accusing her of things and then stuttering and sputtering because he's been lying, got caught in a lie. And enough is enough. He like Mel said, he was giving those court papers out to bloggers. The fact that you had that big manila folder and brought that on stage, yeah, you're just looking for any reason to pass that around, but you don't have the transcripts of what was said. It is shameful. I agree with her. It was shameful. I agreed with her statement, which I think we've all been saying, which she said, I will never trust a woman around my kids that has said such vile things about me. And then she also said, and she has said vile things about you too.
Yeah.
So those are things that their kids have to see, including her children. So there are 6 children in this equation that didn't ask for this foolishness.
Yeah.
And then the other children involved with the parents and stuff that now have to deal with some of this foolishness. The children are innocent, but especially the 6 involved with these 3, but especially her and the things she says online. But he
Mm.
want to defend her and deflect about the babysitters because he doesn't have anything to say because he knows he uses that girl as a weapon. Period. Um, but I also, the other thing that irritated me, and I'm not going to condone violence, even though I enjoy Petty Male and I laugh about, her, the imagery of her trying to set a couch on fire and some other stuff when she said she whooped Martell's behind. Did I get a chuckle out of that? Absolutely. Do I think that they both were very abusive in that house and it was toxic? Absolutely. But
Mhm.
don't that's the thing. Everybody now wants to harp on that and be like, oh, Mel was hitting on him. Okay, yeah. And he was doing some real harmful stuff to her,
Facts.
which the
Facts.
kids saw. And then on top of that, they are now, which this revenge P thing happened, she filed when he first threatened her, because she said it went to her lawyer, and
Mhm.
he's now just paying the consequences for those actions. Martell keeps doing things that he has to deal with the consequences of, and then is mad at her for it. You pushed her hand. You shouldn't have done it. And then you got your child's mother out here corroborating it because she can't keep her mouth closed because she wants to talk about how she's so great and that y'all Bonnie and Clyde or whatever. And now you're caught up. But everybody wants to be like, oh, well, she was abusive, but she wants to file charges on him. That's a false equivalency, y'all. Because again, there are children involved. What man thinks that it's okay on Mad Day to put out very intimate images of his children's
Right.
mother that they
That's
might eventually see?
Yep.
So you're thinking short term. You're thinking about, oh, I'm gonna get at Mel. I'm gonna get at Mel. But he never thinks long term how this is going to affect his kids and how they're going to eventually see you. And that's
Period.
not going to be Melody's fault. You're always talking about how she's trying to make you look bad on TV, how this show is trying to make you look bad on TV. No, your actions make you look bad, but he's never going to take accountability for it, just like he's never going to take accountability for the fact that he is now a single man and he destroyed his family because he couldn't
Mm.
control his own ego and his own base urges. And that's it. That's all I have. I wish this reunion was better. I'll say the one when they came back from C19, when Carlos first hosted, that was the
Mhm.
best reunion because we got a lot out of it. But
Mhm.
it's been going downhill, and he is always going back to the Mel and Martell well, and that in itself is very triggering and abusive.
It is.
Let
It
everybody else stand on their own stuff, but you don't. And we've just seen it, and it was disgusting.
is.
It was
Yep.
disgusting. Thank you for letting me come up.
Thank you. Let me say a couple things to you. You guys know I take a little notes so I can just give a little feedback. I agree with you when it comes to the Facebook chat groups. Betty was the number one member. So that's my
Mhm.
thing. How you talking about what may have been on Twitter or whatever else when you were actively, and we got the screenshots. Excuse me, let me cough real quick. Screenshots. I just didn't go back and try to even find it. But we have what she said initially. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
As far as that folder, child, that man took his time at home, packed that folder in that suitcase, got on a plane, and took it to California. For what? For what? So anybody come in your dressing room, let me show you this. Let me show you this. You know, he's such a big kid, you know? And what else? As far as what you said, as far as him trying to make her look bad, that's been his quest
Yep.
since she divorced him, you know. Even before divorce, when she finally left and they were separated, that is his goal. And he got the perfect person on his side that's going to fuel that with him. That's Coleslaw. That's the only tie that bind them together. If Coleslaw was the type of woman that say, look, y'all divorced. Why are you still
Mhm.
talking about her? Or look, you
Mhm.
guys have kids. Let's not do this on social media. Let's not say this. If she was the type of woman that had some dignity, he wouldn't even want her. So she's only there for that purpose, and that is to hurt Mel. Because even up to we saw this reunion, we learned, and I already knew, this man's still trying to get her back. She told me to
Yeah,
pray.
Shady Production. Shady Production showed that clip where he was like, I was working on myself and I asked her if we could come back. I said, ooh.
Uh-huh. Well, thank goodness they were shady. They definitely
Mm.
came with the receipts because he asked Carlos, who says I want her back? And Carlos said the cameras. So I'm glad that they showed it, you know, because some of those things that we didn't see in the scene. And yeah, he really took Mel serious. We already saw Mel come out before and said that her friends was laughing like, "Girl, what the hell you say that for?" Well, he took it serious about her, and she said she just told him to pray as far as when it comes to their co-parents relationship. But Mr. Man was praying to get her back, and he probably was really praying. Do you hear me? So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
enough. I do think that at this point, depending on what happens with their, not even depending on that, we know they got these court cases coming up. I just think it's time for Martell to take a break, period. But if they are going to continue to be on the show together, I think it should be separate from now on,
I
because
agree.
it it,
I
it,
agree.
yeah, it's too much, and it's been years. And I think that it fuels him. So Mel did make a post today in her stories with the producers. It looks like they were at her home. They were filming, and Marcus was there. So it looks like we may see Mark, her brother, in a future episode. And that's what I think. Introduce the friends on her side, the family on her side. Let her film with them, with the cast. If they're cordial, then yes, we can do this. But I think it's time for a complete separation from Martell. And Martell ain't got no other storyline.
I
So
agree with that because it could be, I don't know if anybody else remembers the Kimora Lee Simmons reality TV show where even when they talked about her and Russell divorcing, they didn't go into their drama. They were just talking
right.
about how it affected the business and how the most of the drama was how about her business and raising her kids and
Yeah.
dealing with paparazzi stuff. That could be there for Mel, but I don't know why they don't do that. And she has asked them not to put them together because they're not at a place where they
Mm,
can be okay with each other. They're just not.
not
Because
at a
there's a lot
place.
of outside stuff happening. And I do
Right.
want to say two more things before you go. Thank you
All
for
right.
letting me.
One
About the
60
social
seconds.
media.
60 seconds. Go ahead.
Mel did clear up that on her IG. I do remember her saying that. She said she didn't say Stormy, but she said the person that I had that needed to have the conversation had the conversation. We're cool. Stop
Uh-huh.
going after them. So she did tell that to her fans. She did
Mm-hmm.
clear that up. And I don't know where they're getting that she didn't clear it up. She did. Just like has told her fans before to stop doing certain things. They're going to do what they want to do anyway.
Yeah, people are
So
grown.
to hold her responsible for that is crazy for me, especially when she did say it wasn't about you. And then on the show, she even said
30
it
seconds.
wasn't that. So at this point, she doesn't owe them anything at this point.
Yeah, she don't. And it's not that they didn't see it, it's because they just don't want to see it. They saw it. We saw it. You saw it. They saw it. Stormy saw it. You know? And yeah, that needs to be over and done with as well. But QT, excellent commentary. Thank you so very much. Now you
Thank you
said
for
you got a
having me.
cold too, right? You're
Yeah, I'm
welcome.
on the tail end. I'm still dealing with sniffles and a cough, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was sick going into the new year. It was bad. So y'all be careful out there.
Yes,
Stay
it's bad.
masked up.
Bad out there in them streets. Yeah, and I had just gotten over it early December, so I know. So drink you lots of tea and all of that. Rest your voice as well. But thank
Thank
you
you.
so very much. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome. QT came with facts like my love and marriage Huntsville historian, simply beautiful. Okay, going back to dates and times. I love it. But next up is LaDawn. Thank you again to the chat. 786 people watching. I appreciate you guys. If you guys could please hit that like button for me. Shout out to the Bushes. I know you guys are watching. I appreciate you. And shout out to the Replay Gang. Appreciate you guys as well. Okay, LaDawn, you are up. Your thoughts on the episode?
Well, I could say that I did like I'm liking the reunion. Um, and I want to say that I like that. I agree with Cutie. Mel's not being disrespectful. She's just setting her boundaries and not allowing somebody to talk to her any old way. But Mel to me is not being disrespectful. And I feel like uh, that Betty is just, I don't think Mel gave her what she per se wanted. I think Mel allowed her to show her true colors and look like a darn fool. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't care what time, day or night it is. I'll have time every time when you come at me like that. And all it's going to show is me putting my foot down, not allowing you to say whatever, and you acting like the maniac that you are, screaming and
Mm-hmm.
yelling on stage, throwing your body around like that at 70 years old.
She called her a demon.
That didn't make Mel look bad. That Mel didn't, but I'm not talking about the fanatics or the haters that are gonna pick any old thing to go after Mel. We're talking about logical thinking here. Mel didn't look wrong. She didn't look nothing. Nothing. They look like the fools. And I think the reunion is just continuously showing each character and type of person each person is. And that's reality. That's what we need to see, the true them and how they respond right on cue. You know, when things are happening as they happen. So it's entertaining and and I'm learning. Okay, when I look at them to know what to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as Stormy, I watched the Dustin interview with CK,
Mm-hmm.
and I agree with him 100% that um they need to leave the mothers off the show because they bringing problems and there's no need for it. You're not my peer group. You shouldn't say anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
Support your daughter over there. But you, Betty, talking about a post from 2 seasons ago, this is like so like trash. Like this really happened a couple years ago. Like, are you really seriously talking about that one thing? No, 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 no. People don't like your daughter because of you and because of what you raised, her attitude and how she treats people and how she go about doing things. It had nothing to do with that post because the critical thinkers knew exactly who Mel was talking about when she said that. We didn't think Stormy. We were thinking Stormy was being shisty when she um, had some dealings with coleslaw. Okay, she was having, that's when it came out also that she knew coleslaw before she got on the show, and people were also looking at her sideways for that. So it was a lot of things that people were going at Stormy for. It was not about Mel's post about nobody recording her. That's the excuse they want to use because they need something. You know, they just want to have a problem. They can't say, I'm jealous and envious of her. You know, they can't admit that. So they're going to pick anything they want, and it's just not adding up. It's not adding up. It don't warrant all that. And they forget what they talk about. They forget what they say. They forget because Stormy, you said it out your own mouth before the show. Your mother did not like Mel. You said
Mm-hmm.
that. You said it out your own mouth. So therefore, that post had nothing to do with your mother having the feelings that she has for this woman. And Stormy, you're the only one putting your mother in the crossfires to be disrespected because you keep bringing her along and you're bringing her along for nothing. She brings nothing to the table. Nothing. So I'm done with the Steels and Stormy and her crazy, ugly mama. Ugly on the outside and the inside, in my opinion. In my opinion, very gross looking. And Hotel. I don't want to say that. I'm not going to say they married, but will he do it? I think he'll do a lot of things for certain reasons. Will it matter to him? Will it be meaningful? No, probably not. But will he be a fool enough to do it because he thinks that's what's going to get him out of something? I think he would, you know. But it still ain't gonna matter because, like I said, it's no, of no substance. Oh well, like so what? We already know how you feel about a piece of paper. You don't care. You cheated on your wife for how many years, and you were married with a sealed paper. So we know you don't care about that. So he was also shown to be a fool because Nell was all those cameras, and Nell was his truth teller. Because every time he tried to say no, Nell said, "Yes, you did, and you did it off camera too. You said it to me."
Right. Right.
Nell kept on, and I love that. It's calling them on their stuff right then and there. No, 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 no. We're not gonna speculate. You know what you were saying. Now, whatever reason you were saying it, tell yourself that. But we know what we see and what we hear. You know,
Mhm.
um, and Kimmy and whatever. Kimmy, I feel like this about Kimmy. She's pitiful. She's pitiful. She should be embarrassed. To even look at herself in the mirror and call herself a strong black woman. She should be ashamed, because she doesn't have a mind of her own. She really will allow somebody to make her look stupid, and she will take one for the team. And she will take all those blows. Don't say nothing to him. Just call me names and I'll deal with it. And just leave him out of it. And I'll throw myself right on the line for him. And it's pitiful, you know. But I did like the way they answered the question because it is politically correct. People can't just come and tell you something and you ain't got no proof. So I get that. So I'm glad they did answer it like that, but it didn't sit well with Tisha. I'm telling you right now, it didn't sit well with Tisha that Mel said that. For the simple fact, in Tisha's mind, she's saying Mel's still leaving that question mark for people to wonder. So therefore, you still kind of against me, and her thinking process. That's how I feel Tisha took it, because she was all happy when Kimmy said something about to that lines, but when Mel said it, her face was kind of twisted up in the air, like, like, I was just looking at a lot of facial expressions, body language, and they was all popping off. They was all uncomfortable. They was all nervous. They was all trying to throw it off on somebody else. And Mel was the only one that was, to me, that was 100% truthful and keeping it real. You know,
Mhm.
Kiki, I'm upset with Kiki because um, I was pulling for Kiki. I'm a recovering addict, 20 years. I was on the methadone clinic. Um, I get it. And I'm still pulling for Kiki. I'm still pulling for her. But
Yeah.
where I pull back from um, entertaining any of her bull crap is when she talk about how what type of person she is. I'm about it. I'm this, I'm that. I don't play. I bring it. I pop up and you never do. The only time you do is when it's you and that camera by yourself sitting in your living room talking trash. Other than
Mm-mm.
that, you don't never come prepared. You don't never have nothing of concrete. And so I'm not going to confuse the two. I'm not going to confuse her recovery with her relationships right now
Now,
because
LaDon, let me
mhm,
ask you though, because I really wanted you to touch on it. Excuse me, because I do know that you've shared that you've been in recovery for years. When it
mhm.
comes to the test, can you explain to all of us that are listening how it could be possible for the methadone to be negative? I mentioned that I saw someone on Twitter that said that it could show up in your system for a couple weeks and then it could. Is that true? What is the deal
Well,
with that?
first of all, it's for Suboxone and methadone. It is a special test. They send it out separately, different than they would do a swab or urine. It gets sent out separately. So it is a possibility that methadone did not show up in her urine. It
Guys,
is. But I don't think that Kiki's getting high. I'm not going to say that at all. I don't think that. I agree with that part. I don't think she's getting high, but
Mhm.
I think she got behaviors that are screwed up that she needs to work on during her recovery, because it affects how she's decision making and the things that she's doing. I
Mhm.
understand you love your cousin, right? I love her too. But one thing I ain't going to do, when a person shows me who they are, I believe them. When you do something so low to me and treat me a certain way, I can turn it on and off so quick. I will not continue to allow you to step on my heart like that. So Tisha has already shown Kiki that I'm done with you. You're trash to me. I'll put a stranger before you. She's already shown her that she will go the lowest of the low. So my thing with Kiki right now is there is no reason you should hold back. And it's not about you being just as dirty as her. It's about you proving your point of what you've been saying and why you're on the outs. And you need to prove that it was worth it by some truth and some facts, some proof. Because Tisha, even I don't like Tisha. Everybody know that. I don't like her or her wife or whatever. But I'm gonna say this: she sure was more ready than Kiki, even if it was slander, even if it was false. Kiki looked like a 16-year-old in high school, rolling her eyes, sucking her teeth, whopping her. Like, what grown woman's doing all that now? Come on. You looked foolish. You looked weak. You looked like you didn't have, all you can do is fight. Like, you can't fight with your mouth, only your hands. And that is a problem because you act like you so bad. Remember, you so bad, but yet you can't come with some facts. You can't come with some receipts. Yes, Carlos and them dropped the ball with not bringing some information or having the right information, but that wasn't on them. That was on Kiki to shut even Carlos down to
Mm.
make him look stupid. I would have came because we all seen that second test. We all seen it. That's why we can say that Kiki was not high or getting high because we've
Yeah.
seen her walk up to that clinic. We've seen her. We've seen the doctor. We've seen the letterhead. We've seen it. She was negative. She should have brought that paper Kiki Tisha had that envelope. Kiki should have had her paperwork to say
Mhm.
and this and this. But Kiki's never prepared. She only talks. It's like the preachers on YouTube that they give a good show. They give a good show, but there's no substance to it. And then you find out the schemes later. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
Bible pimp type of
but
thing.
in her defense, this is a new
This ain't
thing,
no, 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 no.
right? And
Couple
hold on,
years
let me
now.
hold on. It's new to her. Also, like you said, she could still have the behaviors of using, even though she's not actually using. I agree with you. She should have come with her paperwork. I also agree with Dustin Ross. I would have came with a test. Come on, let's go and step on back here, Carlos.
Come on.
Now you asked me, was it somebody in the bathroom? You can come in here with me,
Mm-hmm.
okay? So I agree that she should have shut him down, but I also think that this is new territory. And, we all don't get it right all the time. But, Kiki needs to do, in my opinion, less popping off, like you said, and more facts. Here you go. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. Now we're
Mm-hmm.
going to move on out of this. If
Mm-hmm.
y'all want me on this show, let's focus on my family life. I got a
Mm-hmm.
husband. I got kids.
Mm-hmm.
I got this. I got that. So
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Go ahead, LaDon. You got about a minute and a half, and we had 2 hours and 15 minutes. I was supposed to be out of here at 2. But go ahead, sis.
Yeah, so and I don't think it's fair that they only focus Kiki and Tisha because um Tiffany also had a problem with Kiki. You know what I mean? They didn't give them a chance to talk about their problems. It's not only about Tisha. Kiki got other relationships that she could be working on or dealing with on the show. It's not about y'all are making trying to have a storyline with Tisha and that's not what she's trying to do, but y'all keep putting her in that situation. I just
Mm,
want Kiki to stop letting them people play in her face and making
yeah,
her look weak and mopping her up like that. I just want her to just stop it already and come back with, with some oomph, because Tisha deserves it. She
Say,
deserves it, you
yeah.
know? So that's how I feel about it. Tiffany and it's neither here nor there whether they come or go, but I do hope that she gets better with her
Mental.
postpartum and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I one thing I will say is I think that it was big of her to walk away, because some people in their egos won't
mhm.
let them, so that was really big of her to come to that decision. Sure, it
Very.
wasn't hard. So other than that, I'm enjoying the shenanigans so far. It's very entertaining and educational,
Hmm.
and some parts I'm laughing at, and Carlos King is something else. But
Yeah.
Dustin, the way he answered certain questions made Carlos look and feel like, wow. I,
Absolutely.
I didn't want to look at it that way, but you know what? Maybe that's what the majority of people really are thinking when it comes to these mothers.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only on that part, because I did see the Carlos and Dustin King sit down, but also when Carlos, seemed to be shocked that Dustin felt like, yeah, they are family. They need to get back on track. There needs to be a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
Carlos is so caught up into the Marceau aspect of it, the drama, the drama, the drama, instead of doing exactly what Carlos said. They are first cousins. And
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
first cousins. I don't care if we don't talk in 3 years, 5 years, whatever, we still first cousins. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
excellent points, LaDawn. Excellent observations when it comes to the reunion as well as these outside shows. I'm gonna watch Marceau and Cliff. Oh, what a match. I'm gonna watch their sit down, and I could bet money they're gonna have Martel with Glenn. Both of them stepped out on
Mhm.
their wives and all of that. So looking forward to that. But thank you, sis. I want you to rest your voice. Okay. Rest your voice. You don't want to do more harm. But I appreciate you hitting this link. And I appreciate all of your thoughts. Always excellent thoughts. Thank you, LaDon, for educating us on something that we should have gotten from Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay.
Yeah.
They should have took that extra step when it comes to one of their castmates that has had a struggle with drugs in the past. But like LaDon said, Kiki as well can come out and shut it down. That's it.
One
That's
more
all.
thing, Chicha. Sorry, about the drug thing. I didn't like the way Carlos allowed Marceau and Tisha be the deciding factor. Like
Yeah,
like and then when he was asking them, they got up out their seats to the edge, like they was convincing him, like
yeah,
she's on it, get her off the show. Like they were the
right.
deciding factor, and I don't feel like that's right, because their judgment is cloudy right now because they're
Hmm.
angry and resentful. So I don't think it's fair that he gave them that much power to be able to say, because I think so, just because I knew her the longest. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't make it so neither.
Totally agree. Totally agree. Excellent point. I didn't like it at all. The grilling from Marceau, the grilling from Carlos, and if Tisha had to say what she say, let Tisha say it, let Kiki respond. Totally agree. All right. Thank you again, sis. Hope you feel better soon. Next up is the Pastor Braylon Lee. Braylon, take it away while I let this little fat dog out my patio door once again. Take it away.
Not the fat dog. Lord help. Hey everybody. Listen, I find this reunion just quite hilarious. Like Marceau was able to have $100 available for a drug test, but you couldn't cover $100 for a charge at your expo. Okay. And then with Martel, like, dude, you have played your game out way too damn much.
Tell
And
Mario's cookies, Eric.
say that. Wait, what? Okay.
Hi, my
Um,
cookies.
Okay. But no, with Martell, the thing that really surprised me was that he said that he accommodates Melody's requests. Well, sir, like she's asked you to leave her alone for how long and you haven't fulfilled that request? Like you made sure your kids couldn't be on social media, which means you couldn't have a storyline. And then you had the black audacity, black hypocrisy, and black imagination to say out loud on television that God allowed you to have an outside child. And God looked at his phone and was like, I know good to damn well he did not send this to my DM. I don't bless this shit. I don't bless this at all. And so, honestly, when Melody said that she beat your ass, I mean, nobody advocates for violence, but listen, I mean, you give and shall be given unto you. I mean, she beat your ass with that 7th Avenue on, and she dropped down. Huh?
Put them
Concur.
paws on.
Sorry.
Yeah, watch your
sorry.
mouth. Watch your mouth.
Sorry. My bad. but no, Melody did drop down on your behind with that lemon drop bundle. So like you have done things to get that reaction. You know what I mean? And finally too, I get that, you know, this is all new for Kiki, but also you gotta stand up for yourself too. And it boggled my mind that when Tisha got caught, she couldn't just take the L. And I think what this is showing is that Tisha and Marceau are flailing out of control. And honestly, I hope season 7 will be the final season for some of these people. Because honestly, from what I'm seeing, they're mentally tired and exhausted. So that's my take on the reunion.
Ooh, wait. And you guys see why I call him for Braylon Lee. Baby, Braylon was on one tonight. Do you hear me? And Braylon, what you say she put on him? The old lemon pepper, lemon drop. What?
Yes. Drop down that behind with that lemon drop bundle. Yes.
Lemon
Yes, indeed.
drop.
Yes, indeed.
The pastor, yes, Shirley, and the pastor is speaking. You hear me? Love me some Braylon Lee. Look, Braylon, I got everybody calling you Pastor Braylon Lee, child.
Listen, I take the towel on with great humility. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Much love, everybody.
Braylon is filled with wisdom. Braylon, I've never asked you your age, and you definitely don't have to tell me. But Braylon is filled with wisdom. So if you guys are not following Braylon Lee, make sure to do so. Braylon, make sure to drop your link in the chat so people can follow you. I enjoy your commentary. I'm a replay ganger, okay? So I miss a lot of you guys when you are live, but I do go through these YouTube screens and I do take a peek and listen.
It is no problem at all. I am a proud 29 years old. I've been raised well by old school parents in the village. Yes.
See, that's what I'm talking about. When you learn young, you know what I mean, and be filled with wisdom. I'm a little older than you, Braylon, so that's why I'm saying young. I love it. I love it. So I thank you. Good old Pastor Braylon Lee. As I mentioned, make sure to put your link in the chat. Prosperity, I see you backstage. Sis, hold on to your thoughts. Write them down. I do have to be mindful of those that's been waiting, and I'll get back to you for your final thoughts. But thank you again, Braylon. Shout out to 761 people watching and 558 likes. If you have not hit the like button, please go ahead and hit that like button for me. Now, I promise you guys, we got a good 20 minutes left. That's it. That's all. We had 2 hours, 23 minutes and counting. But I appreciate you. He the custom pastor succeeding. The custom pastor. It's all right. Okay. Thank you again. Next up. Let me go ahead and get this banner up, child. Let me go ahead and get this banner up for a legend out here in these YouTube streets. My aunt Debbie is in the house, and you guys know Aunt Debbie gives it to us real and raw. Airtime. Aunt Debbie, your thoughts on that episode?
I think remember when I told you people they do that, what Carlos King did when it comes to sobriety?
Yep.
That's what I meant. Kiki is lazy in her sobriety because, you know, that's her job. I would have protected my job. What I would have done if I was her, I would have went to a lab and got an extensive test where not only do they test your urine, but your hair and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And when they came to me with that, I would have presented the papers to Carlos King. Now, this is not from a cup, it's from a lab where they test everything.
Yep.
That would have shut all that down. Martel, Tisha would have shut them down. Kiki gonna have to do things to protect herself, or they gonna always come at her with that. Cause you notice that's what they come with. That every time it's about her sobriety. Or they try to make it seem like she's still getting high. This is a way to shut that down where that won't happen. And that's what she should have done. Now, I fought Carlos King too, because he could have done it.
Yep.
He could have done it instead of taking Tisha and Marcel's word. Who's to say what they're doing? You want to give one a test, give them all a test. You know, let's get this out in the open. And if he was a real person that cared, that's what he would have done. Instead of singling her out, making her feel bad, taking other people's word and not even considering hers. But see, she need to do some self-care too. She should have been in some support groups. She should have been working on herself. It shows that her behavior, even though she's sober, her behavior shows that she's still using. That's why you have groups to go to. That's why we go to AA meetings. It's about behaviors and discovering yourself and being better than you were. And you learn why you used in the first place so you never go back.
Babe, why you keep that light on like that?
Neva P. Go ahead, Aunt Debbie.
That's what I would have done. As far as Betty, Carlos King knew that Stormy Mamas belonged to them face groups, and she had been talking stuff about Mel. Now, to me, since he couldn't bring Wanda back, he used the Betty. So Betty got what she needed. She got what she needed last night. Just like Mel say she a demon. You see how she fell back and laughed? She likes that. And if I was Stormy, I wouldn't have my mother on no show acting ignorant like that, because it only makes you look bad as a businesswoman. And that can mess your business up. You know, you already messed up in the first place by a lot of things that your mama did. And I fault you for not getting your orders out on time. I don't want to hear about the post office stealing. You know, you take people money, you got to give them a service. So that's on you. But your mama should not be fighting or arguing with your friends and your peers and colleagues on the job. That looks so ignorant and unprofessional. You know, I know you and your mama, y'all get together and call each other. Do that at home. But then when you representing, and which her mother was representing her last night, and she showed up and failed as a person, as a mother. You don't do that. You don't do that. And she had no business saying anything to Melody. Let Stormy and Mel work that thing out. Both of them are grown women. They don't need nobody to jump in. You don't see Mel mother coming out saying anything. Because she knows she raised her daughter, and her daughter know right from wrong, and she know how to handle her business and handle her self-control. At some point, you got to let your grown daughter be a grown woman and mind your business. Because that just show you didn't do your job in raising her when you do stuff like what she did last night. You don't trust that your daughter can handle her business. So that's the way I see that when it comes to that. And I think Kimmy is a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
A waste of time. And her and her husband, they really need to go because their story has ended. And don't nobody want to hear no more about your life and all
Love you.
this other crap, your libido, and I gotta do this. And please just stop. Just stop. Go find something else to do. And Tisha and Marceau, they don't want Kiki on that show. That's why Kiki need to step her game up.
Mm-hmm.
When she came on that show talking about books, she should have been talking about her own situation, the past with her and her husband. Get your story out. Don't let Tisha tell it. Cause you see what Tisha did. She made it look like you gave your husband money to take a lady out on a date and you knew about it. And that was some 20 years ago.
20 years ago, child.
Mm-hmm.
So you sitting at home, you should do your homework. This is your job. And if you want to keep it, you need to come correct and put in some work. And stop thinking Mel gonna take up for you every time, putting Mel in that position. Mel got you on. Now handle your business.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know what you're doing. I understand you new at this, but you should also put in some work. Learn some things about what you're doing. Don't let people just cut you any way they can, and all you can sit there and look is goofy. Cause your cousin don't care nothing about you. That's Wanda's daughter. She don't want you on the show no way, so she gonna do everything to make you look bad. So you need to step your game up and come correct. If you come back season 7, come for real. Don't just show up.
That's right. And
Come to
come back.
work.
And real quick on Debbie, and come back with something going on. Come back with something other than being on defense mode for the exact reason that you said on Debbie, because you haven't shut everybody down with text. Look, this it, that's all. I'm not doing this anymore. But here you go. Now shut up. Now I'm gonna focus on me going out and talking to other addicts. I'm gonna focus on me and my home life, and speak on her previous profession as far as being a professor. Let us see another part instead of just Kiki always being on defense mode. Go ahead, Aunt Debbie.
Yeah, put that book out. Let us see that book come out.
Mm-hmm.
You've been writing it for a long time. Come on with it. Or stay at home or get off the show. Now, as far as Martel with that tight suit on, he
Ciao.
comes. Oh Lord, that was just a hot mess. He a hot mess. Martel tried to overtalk people. He tried to get loud, especially when people know that he wrong and he lying. Now he been lying from the beginning. It's just starting to catch up with him. All his lies. It's starting to catch up with him. He went and got them fake papers, cause them the same papers he gave to all them bloggers, and they was fake. They didn't tell the truth. He don't tell the truth. He don't know the truth. And then he sit up and behind the scene, he know he was begging to get back in that house with Melody. He trying to act like he wasn't. Yes, you were. So you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing. And you want what she has. So if you could get back in there and get some of what she got, you will. Quit quit playing with the people. We all know that. He has nothing. And when it came out that it was a business arrangement between him and Shereé, he should have been know that was gonna come out because everybody figured that out long ago. So what you so upset about? And then
Mm-hmm.
you got this girl, Coleslaw, you weaponizing her and using her against the children of your mother. And you leave your children with this woman who talked about you and your ex-wife.
Yeah.
You don't have the best interest of your children at heart. And if I was the judge, I would see that. And I will give Mel full custody. And plus you don't have no food to feed them. I would recommend you get a job and stay on it a year. before you be able to get those kids back. Otherwise, you can get visitation, supervised visitation. That's all you need. And she can come. Your girlfriend, your fiance, or whatever you want to call her. You don't never claim her. So she has no right to be around those children.
Right.
Her own children and take care of her business. And matter of fact, she don't have a job either. So why is she around? What is she around for? What do you have her there for? And she don't need to babysit him. Get a job and hire a professional babysitter. Court needs to put some things in place for Martel, and he need to follow them. I know he don't like following rules, but if you don't follow these rules by the judge, then I'm gonna take your custody away permanently. How about that? And all this jumping up and down. We see you got problems. You unhinged. You're unstable. You don't need to be around no kids. You need to be in therapy. You need to be on somebody's couch. You need to be at somebody's drugstore getting your prescription and going home taking your medicine and get into some men support groups so you can find some things out and look at your own self and stop picking at Melody. Stop calling that lady. She'd have moved on. She way up above you now. She'll never look back at you and want you as a man. And you should be able to see that. And you're only making yourself look like a fool steady running up behind her, but saying you're not, when everybody see that you are. You know, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people. You just can't. And he
Right.
need to stop. He need to go sit down. And as far as Tiffany and Lou had already stepped away from the show anyway. He had nothing in common with those men. So he was done after the way they did his wife. And I can't much blame him for that. It took her a little longer to see, and they started working on her mental. So I'm glad they stepped away to take care of their family and keep their family together. You know,
Mm.
I can respect that from Tiffany. You know, I didn't really care for her, but you know, I can respect that. That's the best thing to do. Take your family come first. Your mental come first. Go take care of your business. As far as Junior, I don't know why they brought him there in that Michael Jackson suit with all
Uh-uh.
that crap he had on it.
Uh-uh.
He could have stayed at home with that country crap on. He wasn't hitting on nothing. He didn't say nothing. What he gonna talk about? Getting fired and coming back?
Right. Oh,
That's a
man.
waste of time. And then Carlos, I'm gonna tell you something about him. He was laughing at that man's suit. He didn't really like that suit. He's making fun of that man.
Yeah, he
And
was.
he was making fun of that man,
He
to be
said he
honest.
looked like Aladdin.
You know, and that's making fun of that man. And he's sitting there thinking that that man, you know, like that suit and he gonna get on the show. That's not how you do things. People laughing at you, you know. And I don't see why Stormy bought him or her mother because they weren't a good representation of her family. They didn't do her any justice sitting there. It only showed what type of family she came from and what type of person her mother is, and it made her look even worse because you're a
Yeah.
product of your environment. Your
Mm.
mom act like that, you act like that too. People ain't gonna want to do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I seen that reunion. Mel, she did good. She I like the way she handled that question about Tisha. And
Yep.
Kimmy don't
It's
like Mel. She's jealous. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just get that on the table right now. That old hag is jealous. Because Melody got a mind of her own and she is not afraid to stand up for herself. And she don't mind dumping a man that ain't worth crap and go head on with her life.
That's right.
She's equipped as a strong woman. She can handle it. As you see, Kimmy and Tisha cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're jealous of. And they jealous of her business acumen. Let's just face the fact. Kimmy is older than them.
Yep.
And Melody is really doing her thing. And they don't like that because they thought Melody was going to fall when she got rid of Martel. But she came up. She got up. She might have been down, but she jumped back up. And
Right.
she did what she had to do. Now look at her now. He can't touch her. Now he begging. He on the begging list. He got if he don't have no food, he begging and calling for to bring food for their children. And we know who else gonna be big, and they ain't got nothing either. Now Coleslaw child is hungry too, so she gotta feed all of them. That ain't what Mel signed up for. Cause Martel is a lazy bum. He not gonna do nothing but get on there and get loud and don't and always holler about somebody make him look bad. You make yourself look bad, sir. You won't even get a job to feed your own children. And that's sad. But you running around talking about those tight, ugly suits. Nobody care nothing about that.
I like the suit on Debbie, although it was tight. All of his clothes are too tight, but I must admit, Martel was when before Chris Fletcher came out, he was the best dressed. He and Chris Fletcher is the tie for me. I like the suit.
Yeah, but this last suit with that little piece hanging right there was stupid to me. That piece hanging and it was crooked.
Yeah, that's the part of. I guess that's the part of the collection because that blue suit that he had on in that fashion show was the same way. But
Yeah.
he, that's the only thing I'm giving him. He
I don't think that's gonna make no money. He had two lapels on one suit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a hot mess. He ain't going nowhere. And it's not his suit because he wasn't the designer.
Right. Yeah.
So, to me, find something you can do. He's not looking for anything. Everything he do fail. He's a failure as a man. And he always wants somebody to protect him. When you gonna start protecting yourself and protect your children?
Facts. Protect them from coleslaw. Can you do that? And let us stay at home when it's your time with the with Mel's babies. Can you do that? You had those kids, so you should be able to handle them.
He can't handle himself. He unstable. He
right. Yeah, Mama whole tired of him. She already let him know she wasn't gonna be watching all them babies. So there he go, putting it off on somebody else. But go ahead, Aunt Debbie. We got another minute. We got to get to L'Oreal, and then we got to get out of here. 2 hours and 45 minutes. Go ahead, Aunt Debbie.
And and the only thing I want to say about that, Martel need to get it together. Because I'm telling you, his day is coming. This is just the beginning of his karma. He going to reap what he sowed. And that's all I have to say. And Carlos King, you need to do better. You really need to do better. And you need to be educated. Why haven't OWN stepped up and said something about domestic violence? They haven't even put a screen up, a number, 800. They did none of that.
Yeah.
I just think that's really trifling of them. Mm-hmm. That is really trifling of them. And when Melody leave that channel, so will I. I'll be through with that show. And I'll go over to Nubian. I already got it queued up. I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah. I had enough. I'm sick of all of this. And Tisha round talking about other people. You ain't told us nothing about your lawsuits. Where you at with that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of sick of all this. I'm going to tell on you. I'm going to tell your business so I don't have to tell my business. That's some coward, lazy type of crap in my book.
Yeah.
And don't kick that lady while she down. And you as a cousin, I understand you mad or whatever. Y'all got beef, but you don't have to go that low.
Right.
If you're not gonna hurt that lady, if you're not gonna help that lady, Don't say nothing else at all. Cause you're making yourself your jealousy is showing that you don't want her on the show. And you'll go to any lengths to get her off. And that's just pure evil.
It sure is. It sure is. Aunt Debbie, thank you so much for your knowledge. And I'll say it out here again. I don't know if I only said it members only, but I wish there was a way that Kiki could have had someone like you as maybe a sponsor or something. I do think that, like you, I think that she's not using, but I do think she does need other avenues when it comes to her walk in recovery. And had she been armed with that, then we wouldn't see the popping off or the blowing off. Tisha would have ignored me. Well, F you, B. And I don't call people B, but that's what I'm saying to her. Well, F you. You ain't got to acknowledge me. You ain't got to speak to me. You definitely ain't got to get that water in your face. But even that, I got a little enjoyment out of it. As with you, Aunt Debbie, I think a lot of us will go wherever Mel goes when it comes to seeing her reality in her life. But I think Mel has made it clear for me. She's excited about this show. She's always excited when another season is picked up. Miss Van is excited when another season is picked up, and I'm going to be watching. That's just it. That's all. I think Mel should be, if anybody should be, she should be the last woman standing on her show. So
I agree.
let all the rest of them go. This her shit. Okay.
Right.
That's how
And I heard that you said that her brother be coming on season 7. Now
it
that
looks
that'll
like.
be interesting.
Yeah, it looks like it. She made a post in her stories today, and she said something about season 7 filming. And she said the laughing in the background is my brother Mark. Let me see if I got that picture real quick. I did take a screenshot of it. Let me see. It says season 7. Sometimes I can't believe it, but me and my brother at Mini Mark laughing tells it all. We are having a good time so far and enjoying the good in life. So it showed the producer sitting there with headphones. That is Mel's home, and her brother and Mark was her brother Mark was in the background with Mel, and they were laughing. So that's again, I go by energy of people. And I get that energy from Mel. So, like I said, let everybody else leave before she leave. I totally understand where everybody comes from, but if she's showing up to work, I think that she does deserve our support. Like LaDon said earlier, LaDon said something to the fact of it's entertainment, or and that's where I'm still gonna come out here and read stuff that's wrong. That's just it. That's all. But I'm also trying to get more into the entertaining part of the show, because we know it could get dark, it could get heavy, all of the above. So, but yeah, Mel laughing and enjoying herself. And I think that that's what we should do as well. She's held herself down, and she did that at that reunion. But Aunt Debbie, I love me some you. Love me some you. Thank you for always being a boss, walking in your walk, and LaDon, when it comes to being in recovery and offering advice or clearing things up. And I agree with you. It's time for Kiki to either come with it or don't come at all. Come with it. So I will demand, no, you're going to show me taking this test. That's what you're going to do. And then we're going to move on to something else. She should have done that, like Dustin Ross said, with his sit down with Carlos. She should have showed up with a test, because you already know that unfortunately that's what they're going to use, just what you said, Aunt Debbie, to come at her. That's what they did, so shut them down. Okay, Marcel, you ain't even got to say nothing else. Carlos, come on backstage with me. Send a woman producer in here with me. We're going to go and shut them up. And like somebody else in the chat said, hey, Marcel, maybe you need to take a test your damn self. Who is that put that in there? Was that you, baby girl? I don't know if it was baby girl, but somebody. But we love you, Aunt Debbie. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you for being our auntie. I look forward to you each and every time. And thank you just for being our our internet aunt. We love you. So thank you. Now, Prosperity, L'Oreal, you hold on. Prosperity, I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say, and we're gonna get to Prosperity because L'Oreal to end it off. Prosperity, go ahead. What was it that you had to say?
Prosperity, you there?
Kiki didn't go and get that test stuff until after the reunion. That's why I didn't understand why they want. That's why it was messed up that they did the reunion so early, because all that stuff didn't come out until after the reunion was taped, and that's when she went and got a whole year back of all her tests. And to
Okay.
what?
When she
To what?
went to the place, her
Right.
second.
And also
Okay.
to go at with Aunt Debbie and
Real quick,
that
Prosperity, go ahead.
um Kiki, she can't be on drugs if she's in a program. If you are in a program and you're getting dirty urine, they're not going to risk their license to keep up a facade
Mm-hmm.
and keep you in it. So that right there should have been never been the talk. If
Right.
Carlos would have just did his research. Period.
If he would have done his research.
That's all I want.
Absolutely. Yeah, and thank you, Prosperity, for coming up and clearing that up. So what she said, guys, if you didn't hear her, for those of you that saw Kiki on live and she went back to the place where she goes for her drops and all of that, and Kiki did get was it a year's worth of her testing with them. She went live and she did it. Um, and Prosperity said that was after the reunion. But Prosperity, what we're saying is she could have shown up at the reunion with the test. Not it didn't even have to be a little store-bought test. She could have had somebody to come and give her that test to shut it down. But I get it. You know, Carlos was ignorant to the fact, and as I stated earlier, I am so disappointed in Kimmy being a medical professional. Educate yourself first before you come out here and tear somebody down like they did Kiki. It was not right at all. It was not right. So thank you, Prosperity, for clearing that up. Well, not clearing it up, but letting us know exactly what went on when it comes to Kiki going to her own place where she goes for her treatment and getting those tests. So they did do the reunion too early for me. The cast should have been able to had a chance to watch the whole season and then
Agreed.
take. That's just it. That's all. So I didn't understand it. I don't like it at all. We see on other shows that Carlos loves. Real Housewives of Atlanta, the Bravo franchise, period. They don't do their reunions until, if I'm not mistaken, the show is completely done. So we'll see. We'll see
And
if
if they do,
Carlos
they
makes
show the tapes. They let them see the show before they do the reunion. Even if it's before the
right.
season over, they let them see
Exactly.
the tapes.
Exactly. And there's no way possible for that to happen with Love Mayor Huntsville because they had a whole half of the season damn near left. So great points. Great points. Now I want to say this before I let L'Oreal up. I thank each and every one of you again for joining me tonight for this live. Thank you guys for sticking with me when I had the issues going earlier. I even tried to plug in a new mic while I've been sitting here, but that didn't go well. But I'll get it together before I go live tomorrow. I wanted to do a power hour lunchtime tomorrow. If I can't get it, it won't happen. But if so, we'll talk about some hot topics. It's a whole lot out here. But thank you. Thank you, Kendra. All right. L'Oreal. L'Oreal, take us on home. What's your thoughts, L'Oreal, on the episode? L'Oreal, are you there?
L'Oreal.
And she's muted and I can't unmute her. All right, I'm gonna read a couple comments to see if L'Oreal comes back. And if not, we're gonna go ahead and end it. Thames says, thank you for offering this platform, QT. You are so welcome. Thank you, Thames. You know I love your comments. Let's see here. Vi, how's your dad? I know your dad was going to. Oh, Vi. Vi, I be reading your comments. It seems like you have a whole lot going on. Hold on, let me read Quiet Storm first. Quiet Storm said, I wish I was going to the live show because Carlos forgot the type of viewers he brought in are professional entrepreneurs and full of wisdom. Facts. Facts. And I believe they may have like a question answer type portion of that. I'm not sure. But Vi, you said you have to call it a night. You have to get a mammogram or mammography in the morning, and they want to do daddy dialysis. Okay. I was just about to ask you about your dad. I know you mentioned the other night about dialysis. So, we praying for your dad. We praying for you. For those of you all, you're welcome, Dustin. For those of you all that are in the path of all of this bad weather and the temperatures are dropping and snow is falling, please be careful. Rack up on your food. Get you some canned goods and all that good stuff, and try to stay put if you can. I do know the Chi-Town area is going to be in the negatives tomorrow, according to my sister. And yeah, right now, I just went, it's -7 degrees right now in Chicago. So that's
God
cold.
bless you.
Yes, I don't miss it at all. That's the only reason why I won't go back to that beautiful city. Okay. But let me check with L'Oreal. L'Oreal, are you there? L'Oreal, we going once. We at 2 hours, 56 minutes, and we out of here. Shout out to the panel. Thank you so much for joining me. We have Prosperity Thick Girl, Girlfriend Chronicles, Neva P, QT, Look Dawn, Passa, Braylon Lee, Aunt Debbie, and L'Oreal. Unfortunately, we couldn't get to her. But shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for your thoughts on part 2 of Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion. We will be there watching for part 3. As I mentioned, if you didn't watch my videos that I released, child, was on it this weekend. I did about 3 Friday, 1 yesterday, 1 today. How? I don't know. But if you haven't watched, please make sure to go back and watch. Shout out to all 21,000 of you that are subscribed to me. I appreciate you. Shout out to my cutie crew representing EDB, Tennessee Girl, Pink Table Topics, Aunt Debbie, LaDawn, Prosperity Thick Girl, Nikki Israel, Tay T, Patricia T. The cutie crew is always representing. I love you guys. Now look, it is, what time is it? If it's 9 my time, it is 8:56, 10:56 Eastern, and 9:56 Central. Excuse me. When it comes to the fast, that universal fast that Mill is doing, it starts tonight as far as fasting at midnight. And she said that she only does water when she's fasting. It is for 24 hours. You guys know you can fast in whatever way that you want, but that actually starts at midnight. So I'm participating. I need to fast for more than a day, if I'm being honest. But the phone call is tomorrow. First of all, happy Martin Luther King Day in advance. But the conference call for the universal prayer is tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time. So if you guys are looking for the conference call number and the access code, it is on my community wall. And if you'll be there, I'll be there. She said the phone call will be about 15 minutes, and it will be some powerful women of God on the call. So I need that in my life. Okay. I think we all can use that. And I'll definitely be in the building to receive that for real. But L'Oreal, last and final, L'Oreal. All right. L'Oreal is not here, guys. So I just want to say again, thank you so much. Thank you if you sent me a cash app. Thank you for the super chat. Shout out to those that are celebrating your birthday in January. I had a post up for the Cutie Crew and I haven't even looked at it. But happy birthday to those of you that celebrated a birthday or if it's to come. Prayers going out to anyone that need it. Let go, let God put it in the Lord's hand. That's what we need to do. That's all we need. But I love you guys. All right, panel. Thank you so much again for
Good
coming
night,
up.
y'all.
Good night. Good night.
Good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Good
Good
night,
night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Debbie. Good night to all of you on the panel. Love each and every one of you. And shout out to my cutie mods. Thank you guys for holding the chat down. I appreciate you guys. And I will be chatting with each and every one of you, hopefully sometime tomorrow if I can get this audio together. But if not, it will be Tuesday. I got to see what's going on. Again, Pastor Braylon Lee, have a good night. Prosperity, have a good night. L'Oreal will catch you next time. And to the chat, I hope you guys have a good night. All right. I will chat with you guys soon. Bye.
Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT. With QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat with QT. Chit chat, chit chat, chit chat with QT.